National. The New York Jets versus the San Diego Chargers. Sunbathed Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. The temperature a perfect 71 degrees as the Chargers host the New York Jets. Hello, everyone. Welcome to San Diego. Tom Hamlin with Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath. Joe, the Chargers trying to bounce back from a tough loss to Seattle last week, but still lurking on the fringe of the playoff picture.
Oh, yeah, they believe they can make the playoffs. They win these next 4 games. They only have 7 losses for the season, and they'll fit right in. The Chargers have the league's leading rusher in Marion Butts. I mean, he is a load. He showed the Jets the first game when they ran for 224 yards. So the Jets have got to stop number 35 in the rushing attack. Kenny O'Brien will start today for the Jets simply because it's not all his fault. The offensive slump they've had, they evaluated the plays that have been run, and the offensive team knows that O'Brien is their man as well as Coslet believes in O'Brien.
There is Bruce Coslet, who gave Ken O'Brien a vote of confidence this week and said it was a vote of confidence for the entire team that needs to relearn how to win. You see the Chargers lead the series. Dan Henning's team went into the Meadowlands and beat the Jets decisively 39-3 in the earlier meeting this season. Chargers will kick off to get the game underway. Carney will kick with Mathis and Odegaard deep for the Jets. And the game underway. Kick at the goal line to Mathis. Past the 20 and up the sideline. Terrence Mathis nudged out of bounds about the 36 or 7 yard line on a good return of 35 yards. The tackle by Donnie Elder of San Diego. Here's the Jets starting offense. Injuries have rearranged that offensive line. Sweeney moves from center to left guard. Rookies Duffy and White come into the starting lineup. The offense has sputtered lately, but Coslet says don't make O'Brien the scapegoat. 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. 2 in the top receiver, rookie Thomas, the leading rusher. The Eagle formation has 3 wideouts. Townsell is in for the tight end.
Ken O'Brien has taken a beating, especially the last time these Jets played the Chargers. He got very little help from his offensive line, basically because the Jets fell behind early in the game through the kicking game. O'Brien must get some help today from that offensive line. There's an injured player down on the field, and Tom, I can't see his number.
80-something. It's one of the Chargers who is down on kickoff coverage. There we go. And injured on the play was Wilson, Walter Wilson, who is up and walking off the field at this time.
Let's see if we can see where Walter Wilson got injured here. Number 84 in the center of your screen leaves his feet, and then boop, he runs into a loose body over there. So he's leaving the field under his own strength. What is that what you say? Own what?
Own power.
Own power, that's right. Charger power.
3rd round pick out of East Carolina. We understand we had a few audio problems at the beginning of the program. We apologize for those. Ready for the first play from scrimmage now as the Jets, after the good return by Mathis, put it in play from their own 36-yard line. O'Brien to the air. Incomplete off the hands of Al Toon, who was running a short out pattern and covered there by Sam Seal. Here's the starting defense for San Diego, a defense ranked 5th in the NFL and 2nd in sacks with 37. Grossman has 8.5 of those, but the top sack man, Leslie O'Neal, he has 11, second to Derek Thomas in the AFC. The Pirate defense has 6 DBs. Frank and Elder are in for Plummer and Sayal. Hinkle comes into the defensive line. And the 4 secondary starters headlined by Gil Byrd, whose 7 interceptions lead the NFL. First running play goes to Blair Thomas. Thomas fights his way for a good gain, about 7 yards, before he stopped with the free safety, Vince Glenn.
Yeah, what this does, though, that was a good gain because the Jets now have a situation where they can either run the ball or pass the ball. Thomas, explosive through the hole. He's able to pick his way. Puts the Jets in a pretty good position here now. O'Brien likes to throw early. He told me he's going to try and release the ball early to give his offensive line a chance. You know, he doesn't want to hold on to it.
Thomas to the sideline, replaced by Freeman McNeil on 3rd and 3. O'Brien in the shotgun. 6 defensive backs in for the Chargers. High snap. O'Brien hands to McNeil, who fights his way for the first down and across the midfield stripe into Charger territory. So from the shotgun, the running play to McNeil yields a New York first down.
Well, the Jets, Freeman McNeil, a wily veteran. I mean, he's one of 4 running backs that these Chargers certainly respect. Take a look at what goes on in the pit right there. The rookie guard 67 White blocks Leslie O'Neal, and you see that the safeties have to make the tackle. These Chargers really respect the 4 running backs of the Jets, including Baxter. Albeit he's a big, strong guy, he can still break the long one.
3 tight ends on this first down play for the Jets. Coach Coslett said they wanted to try to control the ball. They picked up the first down, and Baxter with his first carry is across the 45 and to the 43, where he's finally tackled by the Chargers' leading hitman, Gary Plummer, who records his 79th tackle of the season.
Well, Plummer and his defense, they play a lot better when they can get the offense into must-pass situations. This Charger defense puts a lot of pressure on because of Lee Williams and because of Leslie O'Neal. But if the Jets can keep gaining on first down or get into second and third, 3 or 4 yards, they're going to be pretty good today.
Boyer, Dressel, Wellsant, again 3 tight end formation as Moore goes in motion. Play action pass as O'Brien rolls and hits Boyer. And Mark Boyer all the way to the 30-yard line, knocked out of bounds there by Martin Bayless. A gain of 13 and another Jet first down.
Well, now that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. The Jets were successful with the run. Now they fake the run. They keep people at home. They make the defense take a false step. And there's Mark Boyer, smart, good receiver, getting outside wide open.
After a good kickoff return by Mathis, the Jets began this drive on their own 36, and the Coslett offense is gaining yardage now with a first down just inside the 30 of San Diego on the opening drive of the game. Moore in motion. Delayed handoff to Blair Thomas. Thomas is hit and dropped for a loss on the play as the Chargers came up with a good rush from their front 3, and then Junior Seau, the rookie linebacker, finished it off.
Well, I'll tell you, Leslie O'Neal shot in that backfield that time, number 91, and disrupted the play. The rookie guard, Dwayne White, trying to pull out the number 67. Turns out O'Neal, but O'Neal turns the play back into his pals right there. I mean, there was nowhere, no place to run that time.
Boyer and Dressel, 2 tight ends. Baxter the only setback as Thomas now gets into the slot on the left. O'Brien's pass behind Dressel, the intended receiver, who was being covered by Gary Plummer.
Well, O'Brien couldn't quite get set that time. Top of the screen, number 84. See, right here he stops, and if he can get back out, O'Brien threw the ball back to the outside away from the defenders, but Dressel couldn't quite make the swing out. You know, they read the defenses. The receiver has to read the defensive players, and O'Brien throws to a spot. That time they were just off a little bit.
Townsend is in for another wide receiver for the Jets. Shotgun formation against 6 defensive backs in the secondary for the Chargers. And again, they'll run from the shotgun to McNeil. He's got some room on the outside and is hit. Fights his way just short of the 20-yard line and short by a yard or 2 of the first down. Bayless and Williams finally wrestled him to the turf after McNeil, with a good effort, almost picked up enough for the first down.
Yes, he does. It's going to be a 4th down situation, and we're going to see whether Coslett decides to go for it or kick. You see McNeil getting to the outside and getting almost to that yard marker there. Bayless makes a good hit and gets some help from his friends to keep McNeil shy of that first down. And, well, I see Coach Coslett has set in his ace field goal kicker, one of the all-time best, our buddy Pat Leahy.
So on 4th and 1, they'll kick a 38-yard attempt by Leahy, who's hit 19 of 20 this season, 16 in a row, and 17 straight for Leahy, who gets the New York Jets on the board off the opening kick. New York leading 3-0. Jets leading San Diego 3-0. 10:51 remaining in the first quarter as the Jets drive down the field for a Leahy field goal. And Bruce Coslett said about the recent fortunes of the Jets that losing is a learned trait. They've learned to lose. They need to remember how to win, as they were doing earlier in the season. Leahy ready to kick off after the field goal. Elder is deep along with Lewis for San Diego. And the kick taken by Elder at the 3. Working his way forward, and a good return by Donnie Elder puts the Chargers in similar field position. His return covered 33 yards, similar to the Mathis kickoff return for the Jets to open the game. Here's the Chargers offensive lineup, and despite its youth, that offensive line has been a pleasant surprise. Courtney Hall in his second year is outstanding. Marion Butts leads the NFL in rushing, needs only 5 yards for 1,000 this season. Tolliver has been inconsistent, 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Miller the deep threat. The posse formation features 3 wide receivers. Early is the third. McEwen and Harmon will come into the backfield on the posse. First down play for San Diego. Arthur Cox in motion. And the give to Marion Butts, and hit. Falls forward for a yard or so, but I don't even think he got back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, it'll be a loss of 1 perhaps on the play as Brian Washington came up from the secondary to put the big hit on Marion Butts. Here's the way the Jets line up defensively. Up front, Bird leads the team, 7.5 sacks. Clifton had 22 tackles in the first game against San Diego. He leads the Jets with 149, 76 more than the number 2 man. On third down, you'll see the Jets dime defense. Odegaard and Mays give them 6 defensive backs. And the 4 starting DBs led by McMillan, who has 4 interceptions. McEwen in motion. Tolliver handing to Butts again. Marion Butts to the 35-yard line where Brian Washington gets his 2nd consecutive tackle of the NFL's leading rusher. And Lewis and Harmon will come in for a third down play coming up for San Diego, whose running game so far held in check by this New York defense on the first 2 attempts. Here are the final scores now from the early games. Overtime for the Lions and the Bears in Chicago. Tampa Bay gets a win, maybe saving Ray Perkins' job. Third down play. McEwen in motion. Tolliver's first pass. And it's complete to Miller at midfield. Anthony Miller cut in front of Don Odegaard and took the pass for a 15-yard completion. And the Chargers have their initial first down, the ball right on the midfield stripe.
Certainly a premier receiver in the NFL. Anthony Miller, isolated on Don Odegaard, just runs downfield and turns inside. What made this play so successful certainly was the pass protection that Billy Joe Tolliver got from his line, and you've got to respect Miller's speed. He can take it deep on you, boy, in a blink of the eye.
Tolliver's hitting 52% of his passes, and according to the coaches and his own assessment, has shown steady progress, more confidence as the season goes along. He's in his second year out of Texas Tech. Long down the field, intended for Miller, who was behind James Hasty, but the pass a little too long, or Miller was all the way into the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you, Billy Joe Tolliver's upset. Miller was open, and there were 2 other receivers that were open that time. The problem Tolliver has had so far is not decision-making. He's going to the right receivers. Let's check his reaction. Sure, he knows he messed up. But, I mean, it's not Tolliver's decision-making. It's his accuracy. He's just not that accurate a passer yet, but his leadership qualities are great. Dan Henning says his decision-making has been sensational, and he's really pleased. Coach Henning is really pleased with the way Tolliver has developed in his second season.
Tolliver starting his 17th career game today. 7-9 in his starts. Marion Butts has a lot of green shirts on top of him, but keeps that stack moving for a couple of yards. Ron Stallworth at the bottom for the Jets.
Well, this Jet defense has done a job this first series on putting the Chargers into situations that they don't like. There's Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator of the Jets. Now, what he's done is force the Chargers into a must-pass situation, which is certainly the advantage to the Jets, because Tolliver, once again, is not that accurate a passer, and he likes to use the running game. So if the Jets can come up with a big play here, the defense has done a heck of a job.
Here's that posse passing formation on third down. Oliver rolls. Threw it into traffic, and it's broken up. Intended for Nate Lewis. Knocked down by Hasty and Clifton, who were back in pass coverage.
Billy Joe didn't throw that too much into traffic, Tom, except that Hasty and Clifton closed beautifully. Watch number 59 come to the right of the screen, and he's going to get involved in the play, and Hasty is going to be all over the receiver right here. Boom, you see that? Kyle Clifton's in there, too. Tolliver's decision wasn't too bad, just excellent defensive play.
You know, Clifton has 3 interceptions this season. Here's John Kidd on fourth down into punt for the Chargers. JoJo Townsell is the deep man. There he is on his own 10. Good high punt by Don Kidd, a beauty. Townsell fakes the fair catch. The ball bounds and is going to be down by the Chargers inside the 1-yard line. Donnie Elder got downfield to bat the ball down after a 47-yard punt. Beautiful coverage by the San Diego special teams. They have the Jets backed up.
Donnie Elder makes a great play knocking the ball back to who? Lester Lyles, who was a second-round draft pick in '85 at the Jets. Just brilliant special team play. Here's another one, and Lester Lyles right in position for Donnie Elder's pass. Larry Pasquale, the special teams coach, has done a marvelous job. He has this San Diego Charger special teams group, leading the NFL in a combination of statistics and categories.
They, as you see on punt return coverage, are excellent, and every coach, a unique approach by the Chargers. Every coach has something to do with special teams. Everyone gets involved. They've got the Jets backed up inside their own 1. Boyer and Dressel, 2 tight ends, and now a flag flies, and the play clock evidently had run out. Baxter came up to say something to O'Brien, and the play clock ran out. They're going to penalize him, what, an inch or 2?
That's what I mean. This may be the shortest penalty. Sure, delay a game. I don't blame him for not wanting to get started from that position. So they move it back another inch, or a quarter of an inch.
Delay the game. Offense. Pat Haggerty is the referee here today, and that ball, the back tip of the football, almost touching the Jet goal line now. Baxter, the only setback. Finds a little seam and takes it to the 5-yard line. That'll give him a little breathing room.
Oh, that's going to give him a lot more breathing room. You know, I don't know why the Chargers allowed Baxter, the Jets, any room at all. I mean, that ball's on the 1-inch yard line, and look at all the room. You see holes. The linebackers are backed off the line. They should have had the linebackers up there. The defense should have really challenged the Jets on that goal line stand, force them to throw. That was a bad defensive call.
Again, 2 tight ends, Boyer and Dressel, with Baxter the only setback behind O'Brien. Again, Baxter stopped for a loss, this time back to the 4-yard line. Well, that time they did bring everybody up close. Junior Seau was right up on the line of scrimmage, and Lee Williams got the penetration to stop Baxter in the backfield.
Oh, it's an awful feeling for the offensive line to have all those guys coming up. Now, Lee Williams just beats the rookie guard, White, 67, to the inside this time and makes the play. But I promise you, man, when your back is against that goal line and those big defensive players stack up the line of scrimmage, as an offensive lineman, you know, you're just a little bit on edge, and certainly the quarterback is.
Passing situation here. The Chargers' first points against the Jets in the first meeting were a safety as they sacked O'Brien. This pass is intercepted. Intercepted by Donald Frank of the Chargers, who is back inside the 15-yard line of the Jets. George Hinkle was putting the pressure on O'Brien, and Donald Frank picked off the errant pass.
Take a look. Number 97 is going to come in and harass O'Brien just as he lets go of the ball. And the cornerback just cuts right in on a really poorly thrown pass that time. O'Brien would love to have that back, but Donald Frank made a nice close on the ball to make the interception.
O'Brien went down under the rush after he released the football, and Donald Frank gets his second interception of the season. And now the Chargers threatening first down inside the 15. They trail 3-0. Just under 6 minutes left in the opening quarter. But nothing. Again, a good tackle by Kyle Clifton, who smelled it from the start and was right on top of Butts after he got the handoff.
He certainly was. Butts had nowhere to go that time as Joe Mott, a linebacker for the Jets, penetrated nicely, and then Clifton got to the outside there. You'll see Mott come in there. You see that and force Butts deeper, and then Clifton is right there, Johnny on the spot.
Clifton credits the defensive scheme of the Jets being responsible for his whopping sack or tackle total, which is over 150 now, but you've got to give him a lot of credit, too, playing his best football in his 7th year out of TCU. Butts tries the other side with a little more success. He's down to the 9-yard line.
I'll tell you what.
Butts has now gone over the 1,000-yard mark. He only needed 5 to go over 1,000, but as Coach Dan Henning said, the most unlikely leading rusher in the NFL. He's not the type of back you usually see at the top of the rushing stats, but he's done it on determination in that big driving attack that he has, nearly 250 pounds. He certainly has been one of the stories of the NFL this season. Former blocking back at Florida State for Sammy Smith. No one knew he could carry the football, and he made this team primarily as a special teams performer. Third down play. Tolliver looks to the end zone, goes just short, and it'll be out of bounds, short of the goal line. Ronnie Harmon didn't break the play, and it'll go for 8 yards and be first and goal, San Diego. Tolliver thought he got in.
It was awful close, but the official didn't think so. On the right side of the screen, Ronnie Harmon, who's gotten to the outside, Don Odegaard comes over. It looked like he got his right foot in, but the ball didn't cross the plane. Let's check it again. He has the ball in his left arm, which is the right place to carry it. His foot crossed the goal line, but the ball never did.
So first and goal, San Diego now inside the 1-yard line. Chargers trying to take advantage of an O'Brien interception and take the lead. Butts. Touchdown. Marion Butts got a good block from his tight end, Derek Walker, and took it across for his 7th touchdown rushing this season. Now the point after attempt by John Carney out of the hold by Kidd. Carney's extra point is good. So the interception by Frank leads to 7 San Diego points as the Chargers take the lead.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today. By Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time. By Miller Lite, with a reminder to please think when you drink this holiday season. And by IBM. Whatever your size, whatever your needs, IBM is working to bring you the best solutions.
Well, the New York Jets have been pretty good at eliminating turnovers. They have a +7 coming into the game in the takeaway giveaway department. But an interception there leads to 7 San Diego points, and the Chargers have their first lead. Carney to kick with Mathis and Odegaard deep. Mathis lets it hit into the end zone for the touchback. Let's look at the touchdown one more time.
Well, I'll tell you something. Craig McEwen, number 31, blocks right there on Eric McMillan. Now, McMillan, hey, does he have respect for Butts? Looky here. He doesn't even take a shot. Now, I'll tell you something. You're supposed to make those guys pay a little bit for getting 6 points on the board. McMillan had the shot, but I believe out of respect for Mr. Butts.
Out of respect for his body.
You know, out of respect for his body, he didn't go ahead and take that shot. But you'll see defensive backs more times than not make that ball carrier pay for those 6 points at least.
Well, Bruce Cosman says his team has been suffering from a lack of confidence. They've become a little tentative. They don't wing it wide open, and perhaps after making a mistake, they'll be a little tentative here. Let's see. Blair Thomas doesn't look tentative. He finds an opening in the line and takes it out to about the 28-yard line. Billy Ray Smith made the tackle, and that Jet offensive line opened a hole that time, and this has been a unit scrambled by injury.
Oh, no doubt. Now, there's Madich going in at right guard. They've got to move him because Madich got hurt. Jim Sweeney goes to left guard. The rookie Duffy comes in, and then White, another rookie, is starting at right guard. And, folks, this unit, those 5 fellas, I mean, they have to be in sync and not working together very much yet. They're not playing with all their power.
Thomas close to the first down across the 30-yard line.
Once again, Thomas, I mean, Hector, McNeil, Baxter, L. Toon. I mean, you got guys more that are big play offensive people right here on a Jet team. But that offensive line decimated by injuries, and they have youth in there. Not to mention that talent-wise, they're not very outstanding. The Jets need to get a better offensive line unit going to give these big play people a chance to show out.
Well, that time the offensive line did open enough room for Thomas to get the first down. And the Jets keep their drive going from their own 31, trailing 7-3. O'Brien has his man complete for a short gain. Toon takes it. He keeps that consecutive game string alive. He's made a reception in 76 consecutive games. Let's go to Bob Costas now for an update.
All right, Tom, here's the red-hot Jeff George of the Colts. He'll find Anthony Johnson for a 15-yard touchdown. Indy trying to win their 4th in a row and even their record at 6-6, leading 10-0 in the Carpetbaggers Special. Robert Irsay's Colts against Bill Bidwell's Cardinals in Phoenix.
And here in San Diego, 7-3, the Chargers. Blair Thomas hit hard and driven back. Les Miller made the first contact, and then Martin Bayless came on to finish him off. And it'll be 3rd and about 2 coming up.
Oh, take a look at this. I mean, there's no place to go. Bayless is going to come in here quickly, too, to fill the hole. Good penetration by Les Miller in there, the nose tackle, who is a pretty good load. You know, he took over when Joe Phillips got injured several weeks back, and the defense didn't play as well initially, but Miller has improved as he's played over the last several weeks.
3 tight end formation. Thomas tripped up across the 40. It'll be close to the first down, depending on the spot of the football. Thomas upended, turned to somersault. Did he come down with enough for the first? They'll have to measure.
Going to be awful close. Good old college try he gave that time, or I guess pro try. Take a look at what goes on right there in the line of scrimmage, folks, where the games are won and lost. Good penetration by Grossman, but Brent Miller does a good job on him. Thomas took what little hole he had, and check it out for yourself.
Just for the length of the football, enough for a first down as Al Toon brings a play in from Bruce Coslett. Roger Duffy and Dwayne White, the 2 rookies in the offensive line, opening up enough for the first. The Raiders with an early lead at Denver, trying to keep pace with Kansas City, which won earlier. Houston and Seattle are scoreless. There's the update Bob gave us. Indianapolis 10-0. They're looking for their 4th in a row. And New Orleans on the board first against the Cowboys.
I like the way the Jets have been going to Toon on Sam Seal, the cornerback, Tom. I think they ought to go to him quickly more often.
30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. O'Brien deep down the sideline. Toon can't get there. In fact, the closest man to it wound up being Sam Seal, who couldn't catch the football either. And they weren't on the same page that time. It looked like Toon broke to the inside, the pass to the outside.
I think Sam Seal made a good play forcing Toon to the inside. O'Brien expects Toon to go outside, but Seal won't let him get outside. You see that? Seal sees what's coming. He makes a nice defensive play. I like the call. One-on-one with your big receiver against the average cover man on the corner, and had the average cover man not done such a good job, the Jets had something going for him.
As a unit, the Chargers have 17 interceptions, 4th in the NFL. And Gilbert with 7 is tops in the NFL in that category. O'Brien. Pass is complete to Dressel. He fumbles the football, and the Chargers have it. Martin Bayless recovers the fumble by Chris Dressel. Billy Ray Smith knocked the ball free, and another turnover puts the Chargers in great field position.
O'Brien's buying time getting out of the pocket. Now he'll hit Dressel, but you got to hold on to the ball. You know, you give defense credit there. Billy Ray Smith wraps that arm around there, but Dressel's got to wrap that ball up when he gets it in his possession. Give credit to Billy Ray Smith, certainly, for jarring it loose, but, those turnovers hurt you. You know, +7 for the Jets. They're not that good a team. To me, that's one of those stats that are really lying.
Well, it's +5 now. 2 turnovers here in the first quarter. Chargers got 7 points off the first one. Tyler looks for 7 more, and he has it complete to Lewis. Nate Lewis fumbles the football, but then gets it back. 24 yards and a Charger first down.
Oh, my goodness.
Time running out in the first quarter. as the Chargers are threatening again. Well, the Jets scored first, but the Chargers threaten, already holding a 7-3 lead.
Can you hear Tommy Roy? He's on now, Tommy.
7-3, San Diego leading the Jets as we start the second quarter. San Diego coming up with a fumble recovery and threatening now inside the 30-yard line of the Jets. Well, we're joined now by Dick Steinberg, who is Vice President and General Manager of the New York Jets. Dick, welcome. And I guess the first thing we should ask you is a progress report. In this rebuilding of the Jets, how do you assess the progress that's been made?
Well, I think the nice thing is that the club has played hard all year. We don't have all the parts yet, and now we're banged up in the offensive line. It might be a blessing in disguise. We're getting a chance to see Duffy and White, and we'll be able to evaluate them. The big thing is they're playing hard, and we're not good enough to overcome these mistakes, obviously.
Yeah, a couple of turnovers. The first one led to 7, and here San Diego threatens again with a first down. Lewis tries to get to the outside and is finally taken down for a gain of 4 or 5 yards on the play.
Dick, you mentioned you don't have all the parts yet. Is there an area right now that you've been able to tell where you need most of the help in the upcoming draft or in the trades?
Well, the offensive tackle area, which is a tough position to fill in, particularly the left tackle spot. I think everybody's looking for those type of guys, the big guy that can knock people off the ball and yet is active enough to pass protect versus the guy that's rushing from the right-hand side.
What sort of goals did you and Bruce Coslett set for this Jet team before the start of the season?
Well, the number one thing is we wanted to change the environment. The morale was very low, and I think Bruce has done a good job. The guys play with enthusiasm, and he's put together a staff that demands their full attention. And that's the number one goal. And then we wanted to install our new offenses and new defenses and get good execution and improve each game.
Marion Butts inside the 20, the ball just inside the 20 and short of the first down, third and about 1.5 coming up. And speaking of Marion Butts, who's been one of the great running backs this season, what about your rookie running back, Blair Thomas? You pleased with him?
We're pleased with him. We wish we could get him the ball more. We're in a rotation with 3 other guys now, and they all do things pretty well. I think like any running back, the more you carry the ball, the more you get in the flow of the game and read the blocks better. And we'd like to get him 18, 20 carries.
Marion Butts into the secondary all the way down close to the 5-yard line. 13-yard gain, first and goal now for San Diego.
Well, checking out this replay, one of the areas the defensive line the Jets has is a quick one, but they're not heavyweights. This time they get pushed around a little bit, and Kyle Clifton, 59, just can't bring down Marion Butts with that tackle. Big, strong runner. The defensive line area now. Well, let's run this play again here. I'm talking 9 miles a minute in here, Dick. You got me excited with this whole thing about the Jets.
First and goal, San Diego from the Jets' 6-yard line. San Diego up 7-3. Marion Butts bouncing to the outside. The Jets defense it pretty well. Gain of 1. Butts to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal. Well, Dick, I know that the Jets are a much improved team. You've got some good young players now. The nucleus is there to build on. Thanks for visiting with us, and it looks like you have things going in the right direction.
Well, my pleasure. I wish we could squeeze out a win or two before the season is over.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Dick Steinberg, Vice President and General Manager of the New York Jets, and in a bit of pain at the moment as the Chargers are threatening again with the ball just inside the 5-yard line and already holding a 7-3 lead, courtesy of New York turnovers. An interception led to the first touchdown. A fumble recovery has the Chargers in position here. Second and goal from the 4. Rips his way 4 yards for his second touchdown of the afternoon. He just ran over people, and nobody wanted to get in his way.
Oh, second time he's in the end zone standing up on the right side of the screen. Good blocking. Troy Taylor gets blocked by Pitt Broderick Thompson, and Butts just barrels his way into the end zone.
Well, both coaches said the early lead would be important in this one. Both teams like to play from in front with a control-type game, and the New York turnovers have enabled the Chargers to break on top as Carney adds the extra point. 2 New York turnovers, 2 Charger touchdowns. It's 14-3 San Diego. After the fumble recovery, the Chargers go 53 yards in 6 plays for that 14-3 lead as Marion Butt scores his second touchdown of the afternoon. And in the opening seconds of the second quarter, 14-3 San Diego. Carney to kick. Mathis and Odegaard deep for the Jets. Don Odegaard from the goal line. Tried to jump a couple of would-be tacklers and paid the price as he banged down at the 15-yard line by Cedric Figueroa.
Let's take a look at this touchdown. First of all, Marion Butts getting into the end zone. I mentioned Troy Taylor getting blocked. Troy Johnson gets blocked, the linebacker, and there's Butts once again on his feet in the end zone. Just tremendous running power. Watch number 88 now. He'll block on Stallworth right here. A little holding. I'd say a lot of holding right there that was missed by the officials, but that happens sometimes.
Number 88 is Arthur Cox, who has been a big part of the San Diego success when the Chargers have won this season. Had a tough game a week ago against Seattle. Here's Brad Baxter being tripped up. He falls forward for close to a first down, tripped up by Martin Bayless. Cox was really the go to that overtime loss to Seattle. He had a costly penalty, a personal foul that made the Chargers settle for a field goal after calling back a touchdown. Then he fumbled, enabling the Seahawks to kick a field goal, which put it into overtime. Then in OT, with the Chargers threatening, he fumbled again. Seahawks recovered and go on to kick the game-winning field goal. 13-10 in OT. Seattle really hurting the Charger playoff chances, and a tough game for Arthur Cox. Brad Baxter fights his way on 2nd and 1 for a first down before he's tripped up by Gary Plummer. Dan Henning.
This is what the Jets need to do. Get some blocking up front in the pit. The offensive line does a nice job that time. Jim Sweeney double teaming along with the center Duffy. Nice job to open up that hole for Baxter. Right now the Chargers figuring the Jets are going to pass to get back in it, but the Jets are sticking the ball on the ground and gaining nice yardage.
10:35 left in the second quarter. 14-3 San Diego. O'Brien with a play-action pass. Hurried. He got the ball to Toon in traffic, and a couple of flags go flying. Toon somehow came up with a football. Sam Seal was all over it.
Absolutely marvelous catch by Toon. Kenny O'Brien, I don't know how he got the ball out there. I mean, it was just a great pass.
Lee Williams put the pressure on O'Brien, and somehow, as you said, Toon in traffic came up with a football.
Well, I think Seal tried to cut him off or cut in between him here, and the official thought there was contact or saw contact. I don't think Toon will be called for the pushing. But what really impressed me was that pass by O'Brien. I mean, he was under some heavy pressure. There's Kenny.
Defensive pass interference, number 30.
Dan Henning said, what was the conversation about? I mean, he's from the Brooks and the Bronxland. He's from Brooklyn, too. He wants to know, you know. Young New Yorker. There's Dan Henning. Sure, this is going back to his homeland, folks. He was born in the Bronx and played his prep ball over in Brooklyn. Right here, you can't really get a good shot about that. I mean, it was just a nice catch. Too long a conversation, Dan. I agree with you.
Sam Seal was called for the interference. In any event, it's first down, Jets, from their own 44-yard line. McNeil. Good run by Freeman McNeil to midfield. Let's go back to Bob Costas for an update.
All right, Tom, here's the way it ended in overtime at Soldier Field. Jim Harbaugh, 50 yards to Neil Anderson, and the Bears win it 23-17 over the Lions. In overtime, Eddie Murray of Detroit missed a 35-yard field goal attempt into the wind. The Bears are now 10-2. They've clinched the wild card. If Minnesota beats Green Bay tonight, the Bears clinch the NFC Central. Tom?
All right, Bob, and here in San Diego, the Chargers trying to keep their faint playoff hopes alive with a 14-3 lead on the Jets. You see the clock, 9.5 minutes remaining first half. McNeil and Johnny Hector, the split backs now. Bryant to the air, wide open. Along the sideline, Toon has it for another Jet first down.
You bet, boy. Just wear him out. Use Big L. I mean, throw that ball in his direction. Anytime Seal is on him one-on-one, I've got to give L. Toon a chance to catch the ball. A nice pass and a good reception by L. Toon.
Chargers secondary certainly giving him a big cushion. He broke off the pattern enough for the first down, and the Jets can nickel and dime him to death that way as we look at our Xerox 10-minute ticker. Kansas City in temporary possession of first place in the AFC West, pending the Raiders result. O'Brien again under pressure. Passes it to Dressel. Complete. Again in traffic with Sam Seal playing that tough defense.
Oh, Sam Seal, he's a little upset. I mean, he was right there in good position that time, and it's the second time a Jet receiver took that ball away from him. Seal feels like he's supposed to make this interception. Take a look on the right of the screen. Look at his position now. Dressel got to his inside, holds on to the ball this time, folks. This time, Dressel keeps it all the way.
A Dressel fumble led to a San Diego score last Jet possession. That one 10 yards and a first down. 3 tight ends in the game now. More in motion. McNeil can't get outside, cuts up as the penalty marker goes down, and is stopped at the 30-yard line by Lee Williams and Junior Seau. Pat Haggerty will give us the signal. Looks like it's going to be a hold against the Jets. No, a hold against San Diego.
Well, I tell you, there was a mix-up in the backfield. It appeared that possibly the pulling guards for the Jets couldn't get out because they were held by the defensive players. Dan Henning's a little bit amazed, and I'm a little surprised. I can't wait until Mr. Haggerty explains this one to us.
Well, here he comes right on cue. No microphone.
Holding number 69. Defense. First down.
A nose tackle.
Yeah. A nose tackle getting called for the hold. Let's see, folks. He's right in the middle. Number 69. There he is. See, he's tackling the guard. You see that? Right there, the pulling guard trying to get out around the corner was tackled by Mr. Les Miller, and you're not allowed to do that, Les.
Great shot. Holding defensively makes it first down. Jets at the 25 of San Diego. O'Brien complete again to the tight end Boyer. He's using the tight end to advantage O'Brien on this drive. Martin Bayless knocks Boyer out of bounds after a short gain.
I think Bruce Kotzlet's offense right now is looking pretty sharp. I mean, O'Brien had the one interception there, but he was under heavy pressure and threw a poor pass, and that led to 7 points for the Chargers. But other than the time that Kotzlet had his team backed up to the goal line, the Jets have looked very efficient offensively.
O'Brien hitting 60% of the time, and Kotzlet said this is the kind of game plan he wanted. Trying to control the football. 2 turnovers have led to 2 Charger scores. 7 defensive backs for the Chargers, and Baxter gets the call for the Jets. Stopped short of the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long as Henry Rolling stopped Brad Baxter that time.
Oh, yeah, that was a good defensive play. Baxter just didn't have anywhere to go that time. Henry Rolling made good penetration. Now we're looking at a 3rd down and 6 situation. You know, it's almost a must-pass situation, but we've seen a lot of draws and little handoffs underneath run by the Jets in the past, and this is one of those situations. Meantime, the wide receivers look like they're covered man-to-man.
5th-ranked defense facing the Jets here, and O'Brien goes for the end zone. Oh, what a great catch by Altoon. He went upstairs to get it for 21 yards and a touchdown. Again, good coverage, but the 6'4" Toon went over Sam Seal for the touchdown, his 5th of the season.
Yes, Coach Henning, you cannot cover Altoon with Sam Seal all day long. Altoon's going to come up with the big play. Here O'Brien sees it's man-to-man on the outside and just lays it on up there for Altoon. He's 6'4", and he just reaches right over Sam Seal, who goes at 5'9". I mean, you've got to go with that matchup all afternoon. And if you're San Diego, you better change up.
Leahy's extra point is through. And the New York Jets with an impressive drive. Toon catches the touchdown pass. And the Jets narrow the margin. The Jets open the throttle and zoom 84 yards in 9 plays. O'Brien on the left, talking to Toon on the right. Those two hooking up for the touchdown pass to make it a 4-point San Diego lead. 84 yards, just over 5 minutes. The Jets covered the 84 yards in 9 plays. Good balance between the run and the pass. Here's the kick, taken in the end zone by Elder. That'll be a touchback, and the Chargers will have the ball at their own 20 when we come back.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. by Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. By Nike, who reminds you to just do it. And by Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Tom Hammond and Joe Namath from Jack Murphy Stadium. Here are some of the headlines from today's NFL Live. Bill Walsh said the Raiders would be a better team with Steve Berline as their quarterback. Will McDonough said the NFL likely to eliminate the in-the-grass rule next season. He also heard from Giants coach Bill Parcells that linebacker Carl Banks will play tomorrow night against the 49ers. And, of course, coming up at halftime, Bob, Will, and O.J. with all the scores and highlights from today's NFL action.
You know, I can't see him eliminating that rule, Tom, but I can certainly see him changing it a bit, making it to be more specific about in the grass.
You'd be in favor of that, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
First down play for the Chargers from their own 20. Their lead cut to 4. Marion Butts bouncing off bodies, takes it for a gain of 4 to the 24-yard line. Finally tripped up by Troy Johnson, who's in at linebacker for the injured Joe Kelly. Troy Johnson, in his third year out of Oklahoma, picked up from the Bears on waivers back in September. Has been playing mostly on special teams, but gets his first NFL start today. Played the second half against Pittsburgh last week for the injured Kelly and picked up 7 tackles in that second half. And don't forget, coming up at the end of today's broadcast, McDonald's at NBC will be announcing the Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the Game. Less than 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Second down play as Cox goes in motion for the Chargers. And Tolliver retreats to pass. Under pressure, he threw it before anyone was ready. Derek Walker didn't even turn around and look for the football as Joe Mott was bearing down on Billy Joe Tolliver.
Well, that's right. You see, right there, 89 should be looking, at least Billy Joe Tolliver thought he'd look that time, and that's the rookie receiver, Derek Walker. So there was some miscommunication right there, but give Mott and his teammates some credit. They put some pressure on Billy Joe Tolliver. We haven't seen, or the Jets haven't had enough pressure on the quarterback in recent weeks.
He took a page from the Chargers defense that time, putting pressure on the passer, causing the interception, and bringing up a 3rd and long. Dime defense on the field for the Jets. Tolliver again under pressure, unloads it to Harmon. Harmon gets away from one tackler and then is tracked back behind the 20 to the 19-yard line. Good swarming defense that time by New York.
Good swarming defense, good decision to blitz, make Tolliver throw it early. Lageman, number 56, and his pals got over there quickly on Harmon. Right here on the left side of your screen, you'll see Tolliver has to get the ball quickly out because he's got pressure. Now, Hasty can't quite bring Harmon down, but watch this. Here's everyone else. There the Jets right there. All those green jerseys coming in to help out. Good D.
Harmon, the third down specialist, had caught 29 passes coming into the game. 16 of those went for first downs. Townsell awaiting the punt by Kidd. Here are his numbers. Kidd's punt will be taken by Townsell at the 44, and he's immediately spun down and the ball is loose. Donald Frank hit Townsell immediately. The ball came loose and still scrambling around for it. Let's see. They say Jets football as New York narrowly avoids its 3rd turnover of the first half. Travis Curtis finally recovered Townsell's fumble.
I'm a little surprised that Hasty doesn't give Townsell some help on yelling to fair catch that thing because, I mean, Frank, number 27, was right in Townsell's face.
New York will have the football, trailing by 4. 4:40 left in the first half. 14-10. Chargers leading the Jets at Jack Murphy Stadium. And New York narrowly avoiding another turnover with a first down from its own 35-yard line. Dave Zawatson has replaced Brent Miller in tackle. As Brad Baxter gets short yardage, 2 or 3. Zawatson, 6'5", 287 in his second year out of California. Miller, the former Charger, has been fighting an injured hamstring. Here's that near fumble.
Yeah, now Townsell had the ball. Really, Hasty was not at fault here. Townsell had the ball, and Frank got his arms around him and just, I don't know whether Frank caused the fumble or Townsell just lost it. The important thing is, for the Jets, is that they recover.
Yeah, I said near fumble. It was a fumble, but recovered by the Jets. Warrior and Grisham, 2 tight ends in on 2nd and 6. O'Brien throws it away. nobody close to that one as O'Brien looked left. Nobody there. The coverage was good. Looked to the right and just sailed it to the turf. Bruce Coslet's offense has had good balance. Before this series, they had 71 yards passing, 73 rushing. As we check our ticker again with the Raiders, 7-3. Phoenix on the board. Jeff George had a touchdown pass, as you heard earlier, and New Orleans still leading 3-0 in Dallas. 3rd and 6 for New York from the shotgun. O'Brien, quick pass down the sideline. Diving attempt made by Moore, but the pass incomplete. Donald Frank running with Moore, who made a diving attempt, but the ball overthrown.
Rob Moore, another big receiver, gets outside of Frank. The ball's just simply overthrown a little bit. Here you see Moore has beaten Frank by a step or two, but he can't extend that long body quite far enough to make the catch.
Joe Prokop is on for the Jets to attempt his first punt of the afternoon. Inside the 20 with 18, leads the NFL. And Nate Lewis averaging over 9 yards a return. Prokop's punt is low, line drive, it hits. Lewis takes it on the hop and returns it to the 30-yard line. 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return by Lewis. Chargers ball when we come back to San Diego. 3:44 remaining in the first half. Chargers leading 14-10 over New York. It'll be San Diego's football just across the 30-yard line. Marion Butts has 2 touchdowns off Jet turnovers. Sun-baked crowd enjoying the afternoon. Perfect day. Not a cloud in the sky above Jack Murphy Stadium. Joel Patton has come in at left tackle now for the Chargers, replacing Leo Goas. Patton 6'7", 307 in his 6th year out of Duke. Was injured earlier in the season. Tolliver with a play-action pass. And he's going to go deep. Looking for Lewis. Intercepted off the hand of Tony Stargell, the rookie. There was some bumping and a penalty marker is down.
I want to see this, boy. I tell you what, I'd like to see what he calls here because I didn't see anything but incidental. Excellent coverage by Tony Stargell. Oh, I hope we have a replay of this. I think Tony Stargell did a great job, and this may go against San Diego. I see everyone walking down the other end of the field.
Well, Stargell has been the rookie that everyone has picked on all season, and Bruce Coslet said he had a crisis of confidence, but has been better in recent weeks, and I've amused Dan Henning.
He's wondering what's going on. I mean, how many officials does it take to get this square?
Officials still with their huddle, and Pat Haggerty with the call.
Disregard the flag.
Ooh!
They tangled feet. No call.
I think that's the right call. Let's watch it again, Joe, and see if you agree.
Well, you know what I don't agree with is why is there a flag in the first place? Why didn't Haggerty explain that there's no flag? I mean, was the ball not catchable? Is that why he changed his mind? What is this? Look on the bottom left. Is he throwing that flag or what? What did he see? I mean, I think we're entitled to know why that flag is on the field.
Well, they said they got their feet tangled up, and I guess he, like you, said incidental contact.
We guess. He didn't tell us. I'd like to know.
He said entangled feet, and that's
But why
the incidental contact.
Yes, but what incidental? He didn't say that.
Yep, he didn't. In any event, it'll be 2nd and 10 for San Diego. Tolliver and company. Tolliver's pass this time to loose on the hit. It'll be incomplete as Tony Stargell picked on the last time. They come right back against him, and he knocks the ball loose.
I know. That was very close to a completion and a fumble. Boy, let's take a look at this, folks. If he has both feet on the ground, possession of the ball. Listen to him. A good hit by Stargell. That was close to a completed pass. Now, Stargell has just made 2 outstanding plays. Pete Carroll says Stargell, he got the strut back in his walk. He's got his confidence back the last few weeks and is just improving tremendously out there.
3rd down play. Ronnie Harmon in the backfield for the Chargers. He's the 3rd down specialist. And the play will be blown dead. Flags down before Tolliver can get the snap and begin the play.
Delay of game. Offense.
So it'll be 3rd and 15 coming up for Hennings offense. Well, kick off your night on NBC with super bloopers and new practical jokes featuring the cast of Dear John and Quantum Leap, followed by the critically acclaimed series Life Stories, as you hear the Pat Haggerty's call, and then coming up, a Hallmark Hall of Fame presentation, Decoration Day, an NBC world premiere movie with James Garner. That's all coming up tonight here on NBC.
Oh, Jim Garner, he's a big Los Angeles Raiders fan, Tom. You know, he's a football fan in general.
3rd and 15 as Miller now goes to the other side, lining up in a slot to the left. 3 wides in for the Chargers. McHugh on a motion. Right in time for Tolliver. Almost in the air, intercepted. Intercepted by Washington on the tip ball. Brian Washington wrestled down inside the 25 of the Jets by Ronnie Harmon. McMillan tipped it, and Brian Washington on the old tip drill takes the interception, and the Jets threatening here in the closing minutes of the first half.
Awful fine defense here by the Jets. There's no pressure, so that part of it wasn't good. But the coverage people are back. Now watch them close. O'Brien, or rather, McMillan comes in here and hits the ball with his head, a little soccer play, and then you see Washington get hold of it and turn it upfield. I like the way Washington held on to the ball there, too, because Harmon was definitely trying to strip that football out of his arm. Here's another angle. You see a lot of time, but look here. Eric McMillan closes beautifully in there to cause that interception.
Second interception of the season for Washington. Jets with a first down from the 23 of San Diego. O'Brien short of his intended receiver, Rob Moore. O'Brien looked like Joey tried to put a little touch on the football and just didn't have enough mustard on it to get it there.
Looked like a little indecision there. Moore certainly was open to the outside, but the ball was well underthrown. I'm not sure whether the ball may have even been tipped, but certainly let's take another look at it and see what we can tell happens to O'Brien here on the release. Oh, just an underthrow, just a bad pass unless it was tipped where we couldn't see it.
2nd and 10 for the Jets. Running play to Baxter. Baxter's inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 5 coming up as Lee Williams makes the tackle for San Diego.
I'm impressed the way Bruce Coslet's Jets have hung in there, Tom. You know, when it was 10-3 or 14-3, I'm saying, oh, this thing could really get ugly. I mean, the Jets didn't look like they had a lot of enthusiasm out there, whatever, but the defense got tough. The Jets put together a good offensive drive, and now they're in a position to get closer and go ahead in the game.
Only the turnovers have hurt the Jets today, 2 of them leading to 14 points for the Chargers. O'Brien lofts it for the end zone. Intended for Moore, who was tightly covered by Donald Frank.
Yeah, I don't know. Al Toon, I didn't even see out on the field the last play. Burkett's in there, and Moore, gosh, they were so successful earlier throwing the ball to Al Toon. I'm kind of surprised I don't see him out there. Good defensive work. That's just good defensive work out there by Frank, making Moore change his pass route while going downfield.
So Pat Leahy to attempt a 36-yard field goal. He made the earlier one from 38 and has hit 17 in a row. High snap. But it's down, and the kick no good. No good. Leahy misfires from 36 yards, breaking that string of 17 in a row. Oh, a big emotional downer for the Jets, who get the interception. Can't score on the Leahy miss.
Well, let's take a look at the snap and the hold. A little high, but the hold is down and looks good, and Leahy just leaves it a little bit right. He really doesn't kick a hooking kind of ball. He kicks it straighter than a hook, and that ball just stayed right out there, just a misfire. And there's Pat Leahy, one of the best kickers in football of all time. Let's take a look at the snap and the hold again. You'll see the snap's a little high, but Eason, who is excellent at handling that ball as a holder, gets it down nicely.
So your old teammate Leahy having one of his best seasons in a 17-year career. The oldest player now that Joe Ferguson has gone from the Colts roster. Misses on that attempt. Here's Barkley with pass in the flat. Hard to run down. He's to the 40. Still getting more yardage across the 45 to the 47-yard line. That's a 26-yard gain for Butts on the pass reception. Nichols and Troy Johnson finally got Big Marion butts to the ground, his 15th catch of the season.
There's a couple of ways of looking at this, folks. One, Marion Butts is a tough load to bring down. Two, poor tackling, shoddy tackling on behalf of the Jets.
We've got the 2-minute warning with San Diego leading 14-10. San Diego Chargers hoping to add to their lead in the final 2 minutes of the first half. They have a first down from their own 46-yard line. Butts draws a crowd of green shirts after a 3-yard gain short of midfield. And the clock continues to roll. Each team with a full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. Stands in and delivers a strike, complete to Derek Walker, the tight end. He's got a first down into Jet territory, finally wrestled to the turf by Troy Johnson and Kyle Clifton. Joe Mott there too. We'll be right back as the Chargers call a timeout.
And hotter running engines. Wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Kansas City with a win today over New England takes a half-game lead over the Raiders in the AFC West. The Raiders currently trailing the Broncos. So a big game coming up next week will find Denver against Kansas City, affecting those Western Division standings. There's the NBC lineup for next week, all starting at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. San Diego hoping to stay in the playoff picture, leading by 4 here and looking for more. Tolliver down the sideline for Miller, incomplete. Miller covered by James Hasty, and Tolliver went down under the jet rush after he delivered the football.
Oh, I believe Tolliver took a good lick that time of the defensive lineman. I believe it was Bird that got in there, number 90. Let's see. He throws the ball. He has time to get it. Yes, that is Bird. And Bird kind of slings him down, too, once he gets hold of him. But Tolliver, as all quarterbacks should, try to keep the ball between the white lines when you're throwing downfield. You see, because if you throw it off the playing field, it doesn't count if anybody catches it. That time Tolliver threw the ball out of bounds. Shouldn't do that kind of thing.
He'll have it 2nd and 10 and another chance here. He tries the other side, then across the middle. McEwen catches it. Short of the first down. Down to about the 37 of the Jets. Brian Washington tackles it. Ken Henning's team calls another timeout, stopping the clock at 1:15. Chargers leading 14-10. Back at Jack Murphy Stadium, Dan Henning conferring with his quarterback, Billy Joe Tolliver. They have 1 timeout left. They have a 3rd and 4 from the 37 of the Jets. On the ticker, you see Denver in front of the Raiders after John Elway hit Vance Johnson with a 21-yard touchdown pass. Seattle's leading Houston 7-3. Indianapolis still in front of Phoenix. 2 Al Del Greco field goals to 6 points for the Cardinals. Reuben Mays had a 15-yard run for New Orleans as they extend their lead over Dallas. Time for Tolliver, wide open, McEwen to the 5. Washington and Starks are going down, but Tolliver found Craig McEwen wide open for 32 yards. 1st and goal, San Diego, as Tolliver stops the clock by downing the football. It shows 51 seconds remaining.
Ooh, I didn't like that play at all. I mean, Coach Henning has another timeout left. They just wasted a play right there by stopping the clock that way. Seems to me you'd want every play you have down here, Coach, rather than stop the clock. Now, there's excellent pass protection for Tolliver here. He's not harassed by any Jet. And then there's a huge hole right there in the zone defense, and McEwen is wide open. But given that much time to get open, it doesn't surprise me. McEwen is the 3rd leading receiver on this Charger team. He comes in passing situations. He's in his 4th year out of Utah.
Billy Joe Tolliver took a hit a while ago. Mark Vlasic was warming up, but Tolliver's still in there. And looking to the end zone. Again, plenty of time. Finally throws it away. Miller was back at the end of the end zone, but Tolliver couldn't spot him, and he goes down again from the rush. There's Miller, who was dancing around in the end zone, and Tolliver took another hit.
Well, you hear a chorus of boos. I think everyone in the stadium saw Anthony Miller except Billy Joe Tolliver. Looky here. Now, no one has stayed with Miller back there. Now, I'm not only surprised he wasn't seen by Tolliver, but I'm surprised that the Jets could leave the best receiver the Chargers have totally alone out there. There's the hit that Tolliver takes, and goodness, he's thrown down by big Marvin Washington.
It's 3rd and goal now from the 5-yard line. McEwen goes in motion. Tolliver gives the ball to Harmon. Ryan Harmon gains only a yard before he's thrown back, and there's that wasted play, Joe.
I promise you, that was a bad move for the Chargers. No way, they have plenty of time. They have another timeout left. Now they're going to let the clock run down. What else are they going to do with it? Coach Henning can't be pleased with the way they stopped the clock earlier.
Well, Chargers owner Alex Spanos, who has been hospitalized more than a week in Stockton, California with kidney stones, can't be feeling good about this sequence as the Chargers wasted a play and now will have to settle for the field goal. Those kidney stones will be acting up even further after this sequence as Billy Joe comes off the field, and John Carney will come on for the field goal attempt.
But you know, Tom, I think Mr. Spanos and most of these people down here in San Diego should feel good about the Chargers. I think that they've really they've become better than competitive. People are surprised these days when they lose. You know, it used to be it was no big surprise the Chargers would lose. They lost last week at home to Seattle, and everyone in football, I believe, was surprised. They have made strides to move forward, and I think these Chargers are only going to get better, certainly as Billy Joe Tolliver improves at the quarterback position.
Dan Henning said the one thing that's been lacking is the big play, the play of 30 yards or more. They got one on this series, a pass to McEwen, but couldn't get the touchdown, and now will settle for a 20-yard field goal attempt. It'll be about 21 yards by the time they spot it down with 7 seconds left in the half. Carney has hit 15 of 16 this season. And this chip shot is good. So Carney, with 3 seconds left, will extend the San Diego lead to 7. San Diego had a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. On 1st down, Tolliver spiked the football to stop the clock. That wasted it down for them. On 2nd down, he had Miller wide open in the end zone, didn't see him, threw the ball away. A running play to Harmon only netted a yard, and they settled for the Carney field goal, making it 17-10. 17-10, Chargers with the lead. You know, yesterday here at Jack Murphy Stadium, some college action as Miami took on San Diego State. The Aztecs put a scare into the Hurricanes. Here's Dan McGuire. Look at this scramble on a 2-point conversion attempt. Gets away from Russell Maryland, the Miami All-American, to loft the ball for a successful 2-point conversion. And as McGuire was thrown down on the play, the battle erupted. A bench-clearing brawl between Miami and San Diego State as the Hurricanes hung on for that 30-28 victory. A couple of guys that'll be prominent in the college draft on display there. McGuire, the San Diego State quarterback, and Maryland, the defensive lineman of the Hurricanes.
I don't doubt that Russell Maryland will go in the 1st round. I think he's an excellent player. Dan McGuire, now he's a big, strong quarterback, but he needs a lot of work on his footwork, you know. Quicker feet. No doubt about his strength, though, and he has a powerful arm to go with that big body.
Squib kick will be down with the Jets, as you saw Joel Bushbaum's top college prospects, a writer for Pro Football Weekly. There's a flag that goes down as a little pushing and shoving breaks out. The half has come to an end, but it can't end on a defensive penalty.
Now they still want to get this. Lester Lyle's in there, number 24. He was on the Jet team a few years ago. These guys aren't very happy with one another right now.
We have a personal foul, number 77, who has been disqualified.
Number 77, which team?
He doesn't care. It sounds like Gerald Nichols to me, because I don't believe the San Diego Chargers have a 7. I wish it was Gerald Nichols, and I think he is the one that... Oh, sure.
behaving that way, I'll bet it is him. Yeah, the way he is arguing is Gerald Nichols that had been ejected from the game as the half comes to an end with the Chargers leading 17-10. We'll be back after a word from the National Football League and your local station. Ken O'Brien and the New York offense combining on a pass to Al Toon for the Jets touchdown in the first half, but a couple of costly turnovers hurt them as well. One interception, one fumble recovery leading to 14 Charger points. San Diego leads 17-10. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Okay, Bob Costas back at our studios in New York, and we'll start with a quick run-through of some of the highlights from earlier in the day. Sam Wyche's Bengals at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh trying to sweep their season series against the Steelers, and they do it with the help of this play. Everybody fooled by the play-action fake. Then it's Esiason long to Eddie Brown, comes back for the catch, spins around Thomas Everett, 50-yard touchdown, 16-12. Cincinnati wins it, at least temporarily. They're alone in first atop the AFC Central. No love lost between the always rugged, some would say dirty Eagles and the Bills up in Buffalo. Phenomenal first quarter for Jim Kelly, 8 for 8, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, including this 56-yarder to Andre Reed. Thurman Thomas passed 1,000 yards rushing for the season early in the game, and the Bills led 24-0 after one quarter. Won at 24-23. Then Scott Norwood kicks a couple of field goals, and Buffalo holds on 30-23. They've got a game lead over Miami now in the AFC East. A nightmare for Marino and company at RFK. Ernest Biner, 32 carries, 157 yards, and 3 touchdowns, including this 13-yarder Redskins romp. 42-20. Mike Ditka watched Kevin Butler kick a 19-yard field goal with half a minute left to tie the game and send it into overtime. Then after the Lions, Eddie Murray missed what could have been a game winner from 35 yards out against the wind in OT. It was Harbaugh up top to Neil Anderson, 50-yard game winner. The Bears are 10-2. They clinched the wild card, and if Minnesota beats Green Bay tonight, Chicago wins the NFC Central outright. Steve DeBerg, plenty to celebrate today in Foxborough as the Chiefs eat up the hapless Patriots. This is the game's first play from scrimmage. 86 yards to Stephon Page, the third touchdown pass of better than 80 yards that DeBerg has thrown this year. They win it 37-7. They've won 3 in a row, and they've got a record of 8-4, a half game for the moment in front of the Raiders in the AFC West. And even if they should end the season tied with the Raiders, the tiebreaker belongs to Kansas City because they've already beaten them twice head-to-head. Other finals, the Rams win in Cleveland 38-23. Jim Everett with 4 touchdown passes. He was 22 of 29. The Rams are now 5-7, winning 2 in a row. That short streak started last week with the emotional victory against San Francisco. Cleveland, meanwhile, has lost their last 6 home games and 7 in a row overall. They're 2-10 for the season. Atlanta led 17-16 with 39 seconds left at Tampa Bay. Then Testaverde threw 35 yards to Mark Carrier to pull it out. 23-17. Tampa Bay ends their 6-game losing streak. Atlanta has lost 5 in a row and 17 consecutive road games. They also lost their quarterback, Chris Miller, with a fractured collarbone in the game. The Raiders are playing in Denver. Elway with a 21-yard touchdown pass to Vance Johnson early in the third quarter. The Broncos have the lead over the Raiders, 10-7. Houston in Seattle. Chris Warren with a 1-yard touchdown run just before halftime. Seahawks lead at 7-3. Oilers need to win to stay tied with the Bengals atop the AFC Central. In the game you're watching, Marion Butts has passed 1,000 yards rushing for the year. He has a couple of touchdown runs in San Diego, which clobbered the Jets earlier this year at the Meadowlands, leading by a touchdown at home at the half, 17-10. Indianapolis has the lead at Phoenix. This game is in the third quarter. Jeff George with a 15-yard touchdown pass early to Anthony Johnson. Colts trying to win their 4th in a row and even their record at 6-6, very much in the wild card chase in the AFC with a 10-6 lead in the third against Phoenix. And New Orleans, with the former Cowboy Steve Walsh at quarterback, has a 10-0 lead in the third quarter at Dallas. Wait a minute, the Cowboys just scored. Pending the extra point, they've moved to within 10-6 against New Orleans. And back we go to Phoenix. No, not Phoenix, San Diego. You'll figure it out. Whatever game you're watching, we're going back to it. See you later.
Time in San Diego with the Chargers leading the Jets by a 17-10 margin. Chargers got a couple of touchdown runs from the NFL's leading rusher, Marion Butts, and a pretty even first half with the exception of a couple of costly turnovers by the Jets.
Well, Kenny O'Brien's interception from his own end zone no doubt was a costly turnover for him. You see Kenny O'Brien right here. He's going to get pressure, and then he makes a bad throw. It's an underthrow and a fine defensive play right there by Frank, I believe, who came in for the interception. But I got to tell you something. I am surprised the way these Jets have been playing. I mean, Al Toon comes up with a big catch right here. You see O'Brien throw the ball up in the air, and Al Toon just reaches over the cornerback, Sam Seal, who only goes 5'9", and of course Al Toon is 6'4". But what I am really impressed with so far is the Jets' defense. I mean, they have held Marion Butts and the rushing offense of San Diego to only 46 yards. So Al Toon and his offense got some points. And take a look at these halftime stats, folks. You'll see 46 yards rushing only for the Chargers. You've got to say the Jets are doing one well of a job. Time of possession in the Jets' favor. That's what they want to do, keep the ball away from the Chargers. Of course, the turnovers are the big story.
Marion Butts had 121 yards rushing in the 39-3 win over the Jets at Giant Stadium earlier in the season, and had 46 yards total rushing by San Diego. New York has held the Charger running game in check. Second half underway on Leahy's kick, taken by Elder. And Elder with some room. Ripped down at the 40-yard line. There's a penalty marker on the field.
Donnie Elder
kickoff
takes the kick at the 14-yard line.
After the penalty to Gerald Nichols, who was
the tackle by number 95.
Kicking another ball player on the last play of the first half.
But the penalty against San Diego will negate some pretty good field position. They would have had the ball at the 41 after the penalized kickoff.
Holding on the return, number 34. First down.
So Steve Hendrickson is called for the hold, one of the best special team performers for San Diego. There he is, number 34, with a takedown. And that'll put the ball back to the 25-yard line, where the Chargers will take over after the penalty against Hendrickson. First down, first play from scrimmage of the second half, with San Diego leading 17-10. Marion Butts has already gone over 1,000 yards for the season today. And he is behind Billy Joe Tolliver. Gets the handoff, does Butts. Bounces to the outside. And has a gain of 4 or 5 yards just across the 30, where he's bumped out of bounds by Kyle Clifton.
Mentioned earlier, the Jet defense has been doing a fine job on Marion Butts. I'm curious to see how they'll fare this second half with the absence of Nichols, their defensive tackle. And, you know, it was hard to see what happened with Nichols on the play he was disqualified for, but he got that kick and he took a knee. People fell on him. He just lost his temper, and I don't know. You're never supposed to kick somebody out there. The Jets defense are going to have to play without his services this half.
McEwen in motion on this second down play. It'll be Marion Butts once again. And Butts across the 35 for a first down. Dennis Bird comes over to make the tackle as Tony Stargell comes over as well. Derek Walker, the tight end, with a good block. Butts got to the outside and made the first down run.
I believe the Chargers want to go to Butts this half. I mean, 46 yards rushing for this Charger team in the first half is not their style of offense. I can see them coming out now. The first 2 plays, they've given it to Butts. They want to get that ground game established once more.
Butts, the 7th San Diego player over 1,000 yards rushing. As you see that San Diego is 3rd in the league on the ground. And he never fumbles. He has fumbled just 2 times in over 400 carries. Tolliver's pass incomplete, intended for Nate Lewis, who made a sliding attempt at the 40, covered by James Hasty.
Nate Lewis got to the inside that time, and he just didn't have the ball thrown to him by Tolliver in a decent position for him to catch it. It would have been a great catch. Look in here now. There's room for that ball. Hasty smartly stays out of the way of interfering that time. I think Hasty, had he gone for the ball, would have interfered.
Tolliver took a couple of good shots toward the end of that first half, but back here and standing in on that one, although the pass was just a little low, intended for Lewis. 2nd and 10 for the Chargers. That's Cox in motion. Tolliver's pass is complete. Derek Walker has 4 Jets wrapped around him and manages to take it for a 7-yard gain. James Hasty will get credit for the tackle with some help.
If you're on the Jet defense, you've got to love this play selection the last 2 downs by the Chargers. Hasty makes the play, and Hasty's happy that these guys are throwing. I would think the Jets are. The first 2 plays, Chargers had the ball. They ran for first down. And now they come back and throw it, Pete Carroll's defense. And Coach Carroll's got to be happy anytime Tolliver drops back to pass, because there's less chance of something happening to his defense, I would think, than giving the ball to that big running back, Marion Butts.
Quinn Early has replaced Nate Lewis at wide receiver. Early is to the right. Tolliver goes to the left for Miller. And once again, Joe, he throws the ball out of bounds.
He's erratic. He's just not an accurate passer yet. Tolliver's making good decisions on where to throw the ball. but Anthony Miller, you know, he keeps getting by a defender, but the ball's thrown out of bounds once more. And if anything, this young man right here, Billy Joe Tolliver, has got to polish his accuracy. His decision-making has been good.
So after a couple of errant passes from Tolliver, John Kidd is on to punt. And Townsell awaits his kick inside his own 15. No snap. No pressure on Kidd, though, as he has another beautiful kick. Townsell from the 11. Penalty down as Townsell is tackled at the 15. Only a 1-yard return after Kidd booted it 44 yards. Gary Plummer made the tackle on special teams as Pat Haggerty checks out the flag. It'll be against New York.
Once again, the kicking game is haunting these New York Jets.
Number 51, Billy leaves the hands in the back on the return. First down.
That's Joe Mott with the illegal use of the hands. And it sets the Jets deep. They've got an injured San Diego player. We'll check it out. I think it's Lester Lyles. We'll return to San Diego in a moment.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Canon Cameras and the new Canon EOS Rebel. By Diet Coke with 100% NutraSweet. You'll drink it just for the taste of it. By Magnavox. Smart choices for smart people. Magnavox. Smart. Very smart. And by First Brands Corporation. Makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze.
Lester Lyles, who spent 3 years with the New York Jets, was the injured player. Looks like it might be his left ankle on the San Diego bench. O'Brien with a first down pass, complete to Rob Moore. Taken out of bounds after a gain of 6 or 7 by Billy Ray Smith, the veteran San Diego linebacker.
You see Billy Ray Smith's right arm there. He's heavily wrapped. He had it hyperextended last week. Billy Ray Smith is playing in a kind of different position than there's that shot of that arm there. He's been playing over the tight end. In the past, he's been a weak side rusher, but he knows it's best for his team's overall defense, so he's playing out of position, so to speak.
Brad Baxter for the Jets. Little, if any, gain. Junior Seau, the rookie linebacker out of Southern Cal, the Chargers' #1 draft choice, the 5th player taken in this year's draft, and the 3rd leading tackler in his rookie season, comes up to make the stop. He's been a starter since the 2nd game, though he missed all but a couple of practices in training camp. First-team All-American who had 19 sacks as a senior at USC. Grew up in American Samoa and didn't move to the mainland until grade school and didn't speak English until he was about 7 years old. 3rd and 3 for the Jets. Nickel defense on for the Chargers. From the shotgun to Freeman McNeil, and he'll be stopped short of the first down. He got only to the 15-yard line for a gain of half a yard or so. But Henry Rowling, in his 3rd year out of Nevada, Reno, and Leslie O'Neal combine on the hit for the Chargers.
Well, right now, good defensive stand by Leslie O'Neal and his Chargers, and Joe Prokop is going to be asked to put one in orbit. He's going to need an awful good punt here. Otherwise, the Chargers are going to have excellent field position.
Lewis fields that one, but whistles will make it no kick. Come on back, says Pat Haggerty. And there'll be a penalty against New York.
I saw Haggerty go to the ground that time, whether someone ran into him or not. But apparently, the clock expired before the punt. Well,
or did it?
They're not letting us know what happened yet.
Well, for whatever reason, the whistle blew and the play was stopped. They're going to make them re-kick. Prokop again will boot it.
But why? Why are they having to re-kick?
Sends one toward Nate Lewis. It'll go out of bounds before it gets there. They'll mark the angle and spot the ball right about midfield. 35-yard kick. Watch the replay, Joe, and see if you can figure out what happened on that previous boot.
Well, I see the referee gets hit by the ball, but I'm going to tell you something. In a regular offensive play, he's part of the game. I'm surprised they nullified this punt. Pat Haggerty, number 40, the referee, gets hit by the ball. You see that right there? Prokop catches it and punts it, but look at Pat Haggerty. He's blowing his whistle. He blew the play dead. Pretty adamant about it, I'd say. Yeah, it's no play. You think he's upset that he got hit with the ball or what?
Well, all the years he's been in the NFL, why would he line up between the center and the punter?
I don't know.
From midfield, San Diego has the football, protecting a 17-10 lead. And Marion Butts pounds for 5 to the 45-yard line. Meanwhile, let's check in with Bob Costas. Bob, what's going on?
Well, Tom, the Raiders have grabbed the lead again in the third quarter at Mile High Stadium. Here's Bo Jackson breaking tackles, tumbling in, 11-yard scoring run. He returned from baseball in Week 7 of the NFL season with 2 TDs at San Diego. This is the first time he's been in the end zone since then. Raiders 14, Broncos 10. Tom?
All right, Bob. As the Raiders try to keep pace with the Chiefs, who won earlier, here in San Diego, Chargers up by 7. 2nd and 5 from the Jet 45-yard line. Play action pass. Tolliver has plenty of time and overthrows Miller by 10 yards.
A chorus of boos once more for Billy Joe Tolliver. They didn't like the idea that he had thrown that pass to Miller. Miller had 3 green jerseys around him, and I'm a little surprised that the Chargers keep going back to the pass. I mean, on first down, once again, Butts gained 5 yards. Why not give it to him the second time? They keep going back to the pass, and the Jets keep stopping them.
As we cycle through the scores on our Hertz 10-minute ticker, Marion Butts has carried 15 times for 57 yards and a pair of touchdowns today. This will be Ronnie Harmon. He squirms for a first down inside the 40-yard line. Good run that time by Ronnie Harmon. Ronnie Harmon, who was born and still lives in Queens, with a first down run against the Jets.
Well, he just picks his way through here. Kyle Clifton has a shot, but Ronnie Harmon just makes a nice move, gets Clifton going to his outside, and then Harmon smartly breaks it back underneath to get enough yardage for the first down.
Just a few more scores on our Hertz ticker that we'll get you in a moment. First down from the 41 of New York. No score yet in the second half. It's 17-10 San Diego. Butts. Pretty good defense on him again by New York that time. Scott Mercereau got into the turf as Butts tried to spin away from that initial hit. There are those 2 other scores we promised.
I tell you, I'm surprised at one score I saw. That Seattle Seahawks bunch has held Houston Oilers' high-powered offense to just 3 points so far up there. That's a little surprising.
Seattle still with hopes of the playoffs, especially after the overtime win here against the Chargers last week. Here's the Chargers offense today, only 73 yards rushing. Normally, the ground attack, a potent weapon for the Chargers, including a man already over 1,000 yards, Marion Butts. Tolliver complete to Lewis, stopped short of the first down at the 32 by Tony Stargell. Stargell, the rookie from Tennessee State, a 4-year letterman there, has been a starter since the beginning of Jets camp. Been picked on mightily throughout the season, but as Joe noted earlier, has his confidence back.
Yes, Coach Carroll is giving Stargell more to do out there. Earlier, they wanted to eliminate all the possibilities for Stargell and just let him concentrate on covering receivers from a bump and run standpoint. Now they let Stargell make his own decisions, whether he's going to climb up, then bail out before the snap. He'll fool around a little bit more. Stargell is far more comfortable now than he was earlier in the season.
Fake to Butts. Tolliver rolls and will run to the 25-yard line. He's got the first down. Ryan Washington tackled him. Well, the tough Texan, Billy Joe Tolliver, takes the hit but gets the first down to keep the drive going.
Oh, he's smiling. He liked that. Check it. It's going to be a naked bootleg. Naked meaning he doesn't have a blocker out in front of him, and he challenges Brian Washington and gets inside of him enough for the first down. But I'm going to tell you what, Billy Joe, don't you try that very often, buddy. Those defensive backs and those linebackers will get your number and get it good. Don't challenge the defensive players.
Missed the first 6 games of last season with a broken collarbone. Marion Butts, only a yard to the 24. Scott Mercereau and Kyle Clifton attacking Marion Butts. They've held him relatively in check today. He had 121 yards in the first meeting, a 39-3 San Diego win, well under 100 in this game so far.
Well, the Chargers haven't had many big plays. The Jets have been able to limit them to the tough yards on the ground. You know, they haven't had the big 20, 30, 40-yard gainers. That's what the Jets set out to do earlier, not to give up any big plays, big gainers.
Just over 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Chargers up 17-10. Again, the play action. Tolliver, Miller's wide open, touchdown. Anthony Miller's been wide open all afternoon. He just threw that football into the stands after scoring the touchdown, 24-yarder from Billy Joe Tolliver, who finally found his ace receiver.
Finally found him, Tom. I like the way you said that. Dan Henning and Miller both are real happy that he finally found Miller.
He had beaten James Hasty by about 5 yards. And it was an easy completion for the touchdown. Anthony Miller, 6th touchdown catch of the season. Miller told me yesterday that a little frustrated sometimes by the lack of connections with his quarterback. You can see that sort of today in his play, but that one pays off. Carney's extra point out of a hold by Kidd is good. And the Chargers add to their lead after a 50-play drive, or 50-yard drive in 8 plays. Chargers in control. Chargers got the ball at midfield, and in 8 plays, got it in for the touchdown on the pass to Miller, 24-10, as Mathis and Odegaard await the kick by John Carney.
Five-yard demonstration penalty here. First of all, we'll see Anthony Miller on this replay get out in front of James Hasty, and the ball is just perfectly thrown. Miller's 5-6 yards away from Hasty, and the ball's right there. Now Miller's going to go over. Here's the demonstration, you see. He throws the ball up into the stand. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to throw it up in the stand.
Well, they've taken back the penalty now,
I see
Joe.
that, yeah.
A kick from the 35 as per normal. As Carney has it teed up on the 35, so no demonstration penalty.
Just a fine for throwing the ball into the stand.
That's it. Mathis and Odegaard. This will be Mathis from the 8. Hit hard. Dropped across the 20-yard line. Tim Spencer. Wow, what a hit he put on.
Let's take a look again. Watch number 43 on the left side of your screen right there. There's 43 coming in. Boom! A good shoulder tackle. Good shoulder tackle that time by Tim Spencer.
Steve Hendrickson was flying through the air, too. They say that you don't have much regard for your body sometimes on those special teams. You got to fly around, and the Chargers were. Baxter and Thomas in the backfield. Jets now down by 14 with 5:51 left in the third. The give to Blair Thomas. In trouble. Cuts back. And finally is taken down at the 25, a gain of 2. Joe, let's go back to that touchdown and look at some of the play, specifically Arthur Cox, number 88.
Well, if you're 51 Joe Mott, you got to wonder why they didn't call Cox for holding here. He nearly gets tackled. Look at this. You see that? Now, I mean, sometimes holding isn't seen within the line. Cox does his best, but he got away with a holding that time, and he's got a lot to smile about.
I've seen vices not clamp on that time. Jets with a second down play, and O'Brien with time dumps it off. Pass complete to Blair Thomas. Dick Steinberg told us earlier in the game they'd like to get the ball to Thomas more. They got it to him through the air, and that's a Jet first down. Let's check in with Bob Costas.
All right, Tom, the Colts have lengthened their lead at Phoenix. Jeff George, little slant pattern, and Jesse Hester's 6-yard touchdown, and they're in front 17-6. George's second touchdown pass of the day. Colts trying to win their 4th in a row and even their record at 6-6. They're in the wild card chase.
All right, Bob, the Colts started that string of 4 in a row with a victory at the Hoosier Dome over the Jets, and that'll be the next opponent for New York. As the give to McNeil gets him to the 40-yard line. The Jets, as do the Chargers, have a bye next week. And then New York will swing back into action at Giant Stadium against the hot Indianapolis Colts. Billy Ray Smith and Gary Plummer made the tackle on McNeil, but not until he had picked up 6 yards. The Charger defense playing without Lester Lyles, who suffered a bruised knee and is out for the remainder of the game. 3 tight ends for the Jets on 2nd and 4. O'Brien with a fake in the roll. He's got room to run. Instead dumps it off, complete to Boyer, who has the first down and is knocked out of bounds by Gil Byrd.
Ken O'Brien staying calm, shopping around for a receiver, and finally hits Mark Boyer, who makes a nice catch over here by the sideline and gets both of those feet inbound. Gil Byrd pushes Boyer out of bounds. Had he not pushed him, clearly the right foot would have come down inside the playing field.
So first down New York at the Jet 45. Chargers lead 24-10. Time, then the protection breaks down, and O'Brien throws a bad pass, almost intercepted by Seal. O'Brien tried to throw it on the run as his protection broke down. Miller was bearing down on him, and O'Brien is lucky that Seal couldn't hold on.
And Bert Grossman is shaken up on the play over there. You see the defensive end of the Chargers, who really hasn't figured much in the action today. But he's down, shaken up a bit, and O'Brien got away with a bad pass that time. We'll be back.
24-10, San Diego. (24-10) the count, with the Chargers holding the lead and 3:25 left in the third quarter. Jets have a 2nd and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Ken O'Brien at the controls all the way for the Jets today. By Brad Baxter into Charger territory down to about the 48-yard line.
We'll go back to that last underthrow by Ken O'Brien. Here you see Toon being released by Sam Sneal. They're not playing man coverage, and then Toon's wide open, but what's Seal on the right of the screen? He gets up for the underthrown ball and misses it. Oh my goodness, what have I done? I want my ball back. I should have caught it. He doesn't get many opportunities like that.
3rd and 3 now for New York from the 48-yard line of the Chargers. Jets trail by 14. Wide open. Al Toon. Little short pass, good for another Jet first down to the Charger 40, where Seal forces Toon out of bounds. Joe, that's a little short route they've been able to run all afternoon.
Well, you know, when they get one-on-one coverage out there with Seal, they can run all the pass plays they want, and they're going to be successful to Toon if he can get the blocking up front. And Coach Cuslett's offensive line has done a pretty good job giving O'Brien time to throw the ball. I'm just always surprised I see Al Toon leave the football field when the Jets have the ball. Keep them out there all the time.
Toon has 4 catches, 44 yards, including a touchdown. Raymond McNeil on a beautiful cutback. He's inside the 35 to the 33. Clamped on there by Billy Ray Smith, number 54, in that darkened visor. Billy Ray was activated on the 27th of October. He missed 5 games with a strained stomach muscle. And a starter since his rookie year, and has played all 4 linebacker spots for the Chargers. His dad, Billy Sr., played 14 years in the NFL, was all-pro with the Colts. And his wife, Kimberly, is a news anchor, Joe. Billy Ray's got all bases covered. Here's the play action, and O'Brien goes for the end zone for Toon. Can't get it. Sam Seal and Martin Bayless running with Al Toon. But the pass too far from O'Brien.
Slight overthrow. Pretty good pass protection that time afforded Ken O'Brien. Going to see a penalty here.
Yeah. Number 69, defense. Illegal use of the hands to the face.
Les Miller, the nose tackle. Henning's team penalized for the illegal use of hands to the face.
Number 69 on the right guard, right here in the middle of the screen. Right in the middle of the screen. See if you can tell where he has his hands up there. Oh, sure, he's sticking it in the offensive player's face mask. That's the second penalty that Miller's been assessed with this afternoon. It hasn't been an offside penalty.
And it gives the Jets a first down at the San Diego 27. Approaching the final minutes of the third quarter. Baxter. Nice round grab. Baxter chugging ahead inside the 20 down to the Charger 18-yard line. Les Miller recovered to make the tackle, but not until Baxter had gotten downfield 8 or 9 yards. On our Hertz 10-minute ticker, we'll review the early games today. Randall Cunningham had a 95-yard touchdown pass in that game. That's the longest of the NFL season. As Cunningham and the Eagles, there's the late scores. And here in San Diego, it's 24-10. But the Jets threatening to narrow that gap. McNeil. Freeman McNeil. Down to the 7-yard line and not happy with Junior Seau's tackle.
Freeman McNeil, 9 years. Look at this offensive line now, folks. I mean, they're doing some blocking in there. The rookie White got off on the ball good. So Watson's down there. There's White, 67, downfield throwing blocks. And here you see what Freeman's a little bit upset with. I don't think Seau hit him late. I think Freeman just got a little fired up that time. This whole Jet offensive bunch right now is pretty fired up.
Jets need to hurry to get the play off before the end of the quarter. They won't do it. Well, yes, they will. I thought the whistles had blown, but not so as O'Brien throws it out of bounds. Out of the end zone. And that will bring the third quarter to an end. It ends on a Jet incompletion. We'll be back to San Diego after a message from your local station. From Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, Tom Hammond and Joe Namath. San Diego leading the Jets 24-10 as we begin the fourth quarter. Jets will have it second down with the ball spotted at the 8-yard line of San Diego. Second and goal from the 8. 13th play of the Jet drive coming up. Baxter, the only setback. 4 wide receivers. McNeil's in motion, and O'Brien rolls for the end zone. Boyer can't get it. George Hinkle was putting the pressure on O'Brien, who threw it a little too tall for the 6'4" Mark Boyer.
Yeah, so he got pressure here. Number 97, George Hinkle, gets in there. You see O'Brien has to back off to throw a little bit, but Ken O'Brien did one thing that was very smart. He put the ball where only Boyer could catch it, in the back of the end zone, and credit Mr. Hinkle there for hurrying O'Brien.
Now a third and goal for the Jets, who need a touchdown. They trail by 14, opening minute of the fourth quarter. Catch of the day for Tune, 6'4", over 5'9" Sam Seal. Seal was getting some help from Vincey Glenn that time, but Tune again using that height to great advantage.
Well, that's just trusting in your big guy right here. You see Tune going down, Seal's close to him, stay out, or Vincey Glenn gets in there 25, but Ken O'Brien knows Tune's capabilities and puts it up high, and Big Al answers the challenge.
Clutch touchdown for the Jets to get them back in the game. A 14-play drive. Now Leahy for the extra point. It's to narrow the Charger lead to 7. The Jets cover 78 yards for the score. It's now 24-17.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By Levi's 505, 506, and 540 jeans. By Xerox, the document company. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
New York Jets with the touchdown catch by Al Toon to narrow the Charger lead to 7 with 14:49 left in the football game. Leahy's kick to Lewis or Elder. It'll be taken by Elder at the 5. Stumbled momentarily and then is tripped up at the 16-yard line. Good special teams coverage by the New York Jets, with Dale Dawkins getting credit for that good tackle and celebrating it.
Hey, it's worth taking another look at. Ken O'Brien throws the ball over the defender, Vincie Glenn. Al Toon gets way up there, reaches and takes the ball away from Sam Steele, the cornerback, for his second touchdown of the day. Just great athletic ability by Al Toon, getting up high and catching the ball in his hands.
78-yard drive over 6 minutes, and the Jets now only trail by 7. Marion Butts hit and dropped at the 17-yard line.
Marion Butts, the ball carrier.
Got only a couple of yards. Troy Johnson getting that starting spot today at linebacker, stopping Marion Butts. There's Troy. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League and intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. This game the property of the National Football League, San Diego Chargers and New York Jets, all rights reserved. 2nd and 8 for San Diego, and you would expect, Joe, they would try a little ball control with Marion Butts. They gave it to him on first down. He got only 2 yards. He'll get it again. And this time he escapes for a first down run to the 30-yard line. Tony Stargell had to make a saving tackle and went for 13 yards with Leo Goas, the rookie tackle from Hawaii, springing him with a good block.
Well, the Jets are in position. Kyle Clifton, number 59, right in the middle of your screen, has an opportunity to make this play. But you see, Butts is just so strong, he runs out of the arm tackle by Clifton, makes the first down. Overall, though, these Jets have done a terrific job, really, of keeping the San Diego attack under control. I mean, the first game, San Diego rushed for 224 yards.
And that's why they're still in this one in the fourth quarter, trailing by 7. Play action on first down. Tolliver going to go deep for Lewis. He's out of bounds at the 30-yard line of the Jets. He beat Tony Stargell for 39 yards.
Nate Lewis, number 81, gets in a foot race across the field there. Actually, it's a zone coverage. Tony Stargell tries to get back. He doesn't, and the ball's too far toward the sideline for McMillan to get to. Just an excellent pass. A nice route run by Nate Lewis and an excellent pass by Tolliver. The key, however, for that San Diego team was the pass protection. Tolliver had all day back there to find his receiver and hit him.
Lewis, a rookie out of Oregon Tech, only the second Oregon Tech player ever to be drafted. Running over people to the 10. 18 yards on that ramble by Marion Butts. Kyle Clifton finally got him down.
Take a look at this blocking up front, folks. This is what does it. They open a huge hole initially. The linebackers are out of position, and Butts just blows right past Kyle Clifton and his mates for the big gainer. Nice blocking at the point of attack, but the rest of it was just Butts hitting that gap and pulling the linebackers.
Approaching another 100-yard game is Marion Butts, who already has exceeded 1,000 yards on the season. Butts only got a yard that time inside the Jet 10. Now let's check our Xerox 10-minute ticker.
I was a little surprised Washington handled Miami so easily. Whereas Tampa Bay, they needed that win for Coach Ray Perkins. And look at Houston and Seattle. 10 points is all Houston's been able to score. High-powered offense and all.
2nd and 8 from the 9-yard line. The Chargers can get a first down. Butts has got blockers in front. Penalty mark again, but Butts is into the end zone. Let's check the penalty flags. Big number 63, Frank Cornish, the center, was leading the way for Butts. But there is a penalty marker.
Number 53, offense.
Courtney Hall, guilty of the hold, which nullifies the touchdown run by Marion Butts.
Courtney Hall said he'd rather play center anyway, Tom.
That's what he told us yesterday.
They've got him at left guard. Let's see if we can see 53 getting out there. In front, not a real good shot on Joe Mott. That's where it is, right there. Number 51, Joe Mott. Hall kind of pulled him to the ground, and Mott couldn't recover. It's a good call by the official.
So now it's 2nd and 18 as the clock approaches 11 minutes. Tolliver. Touchdown. Lewis.
Coordinator shaking his head. I'll tell you what, that was a big-time pass right there. I mean, I don't know whose defense could have stopped that when the ball was perfectly delivered to Nate Lewis by Billy Joe Tolliver.
First career touchdown for Nate Lewis, the rookie. It went for 19 yards. Carney's extra point attempt is good. It was rookie against rookie. Nate Lewis against Tony Stargell. And Lewis, with his first touchdown catch in the NFL, ups the Charger lead to 31-17 as San Diego covered 84 yards in a quick 6 plays.
Watch where Billy Joe Tolliver delivers this pass. I mean, it's on a line and right there, quickly right there. There's not a chance for Tony Stargell to recover once Lewis jumped inside and once Tolliver released that ball so quickly. Here he's inside right now. Well, we got the wrong angle, but there you go. He's inside Stargell. It's just a beautiful pass. I mean, he put that thing right there. Yeah, Billy Joe likes it. Looky here.
Billy Joe was saying to us yesterday that as his confidence has grown, so has his command of the team. You see him there complimenting Hall, who had been guilty of the penalty nullifying the earlier touchdown, and Tolliver said now he knows enough to know whether he made the mistake or someone else made the mistake, and so he's able to correct them when they do poorly, and his leadership role is growing along with his familiarity with this offense.
Mark Vlasic, the backup quarterback, I hope he was trying to show Lewis how to catch it. I thought Lewis did a pretty good job there.
There's the Chargers scoring drive. Carney ready for the kick. Mathis and Odegaard on the receiving end. Mathis from the 8. Flags down. Mathis down the sideline. Finally knocked out of bounds. Donald Frank forced him out of bounds, but the penalty against the Jets will nullify a fine 48-yard return.
Well, that's got to upset Bruce Coslet a little bit. The rookie Darrell Davis, a defensive end for the Jets, just blatantly blocked one of the Chargers in the back. I mean, you don't get away with blocking someone in the back very often, folks, but Darrell Davis is
Pushing it back. Number 98 on the return. First down.
You know, in his exuberance to try and really do some good out there. There, right in front of you, folks, right on the hash mark. You see that block? You can't push a guy in the back, and it's a shame because this is a nice return for the Jets. It's going to be called back.
And there's the guilty party. Well, Bruce Coslet has had his sense of humor going. They engaged in a touch football game at the end of practice yesterday, the coaches against some of the players. And he's trying to keep his team emotionally on the even keel. He even tried his patience on that call as Freeman McNeil with some tough yards out to the 15-yard line. Bert Grossman shaken up earlier, back on the field and makes the tackle.
I'll tell you, this Jet line has done a pretty good job, though. I mean, Zawatson's been playing in there at the right tackle for Brent Miller, who's bummed up a little bit. They got Roger Duffy at center and Dwayne White, two rookies. I mean, they're playing musical chairs, but I think this offensive line has done a pretty commendable job, given the fact that they're going against a tough defense.
O'Brien, safety valve pass to McNeil, who turns it into a pretty good gainer across the 25 to the 27 for a Jet first down. Gary Plummer chases him down after a 12-yard gain. Don't forget, coming up on NBC tonight, Super Bloopers and New Practical Jokes, followed by the Life Stories series, and then Jim Garner in Decoration Day, all coming up tonight here on NBC.
I used to like Jim Garner when he was in Maverick years ago. Remember that?
You played golf with him a few times, haven't you?
Played golf with him this week, as a matter of fact. He's a good player. He's a poor handicap.
Freeman McNeil to the 30-yard line, stopped by Martin Bayless. Joe, you were talking about the two rookies in that Jet offensive line. Roger Duffy, the center out of Penn State, and Dwayne White, right guard out of Alcorn A&M, and they call them Salt and Pepper. They hang out together all the time, and they have a special warm-up routine. One of them will be the quarterback and the other a receiver. And at the Hoosier Dome a couple of weeks ago against the Colts, they were practicing their fake field goal routine. One was the holder, one was the kicker, and they broke it off for a successful pass. Duffy and White, Salt and Pepper. A couple of rookies enjoying their first year in the NFL. O'Brien's in trouble, and he'll go down. First sack of the day. Grossman and O'Neal, the two top sack men on the Charger defense, will get a half each.
Well, this is a coverage sack, Tom. I mean, O'Brien just couldn't find anyone downfield. You look here. Now, he has time to throw. You see, he has time to throw, but no one is open. He steps up, then Zawatson, number 63, who really had good position on Grossman, was surprised by Grossman's going back to the line of scrimmage, sort of an inside. So I don't think you can blame Zawatson for losing Grossman that time. It was good coverage downfield by the Chargers secondary.
Jets had narrowed the lead to 7 here in the fourth quarter, only to see the Chargers answer with a drive, and the Jets need to come back. O'Brien scrambling and not enough. Swamped back at the 20-yard line by the on-rushing Chargers. This is what they did to him in the first game, a 39-3 San Diego win. Again, Grossman and O'Neal get into O'Brien.
You know, these defensive players, O'Neal, Grossman, those guys, when they know it's a pass, a definite pass, they've got all kinds of little tricks to turn these young linemen around, young offensive linemen. They're going to get back there. This was the first time the protection really broke down because the play before it was just good coverage downfield.
There's Lewis awaiting the kick by Pope. Lewis calls for a fair catch at the 35. There wasn't a man within 15 yards of him. Makes the fair catch after a 45-yard Prokop punt. San Diego in front. Well, what would a trip to Southern California be without a review of the acting career of one Joe Willie Namath? C.C. and Company. There's Joe. Nice hair, Joe. On the Chopper. Starring with Ann Margaret in C.C. and Company.
Yeah, those were the good old days, riding that bike, working with Ann. She was terrific to work with.
Now, what about your acting career? Is that still ongoing, or?
I tell you, the main thing with my acting career is my priorities change. I need to stay at home. I have a 5-year-old, and my wife Deborah's due again December the 15th, the 20th, and well, an actor has to go on the road. You live in hotels 3 and 4 months at a time.
What do you call this?
I loved it. Yeah, what do you call this? This is for a couple of days at a time. You know, I would really be surprised at this point to see the Chargers throw the ball again. I've got to believe they'll keep it on the ground right now with just over 8 minutes left in the game and a commanding lead. I think they should wear Marion Butts out.
Well, here's one carry for him. Legs driving. Butts turns to the 40-yard line. Kyle Clifton makes the tackle finally. Here's Bob Costas.
All right, Tom, and here's Bo Jackson, who earlier, so it's still a 7-point differential. Raiders 20, Broncos 13. Tom?
All right, Bob. Bo Jackson having a big day. Meanwhile, the NFL's leading rusher, Marion Butts, is over 100 yards on the afternoon. 101 yards and trying to add to that total here. Boy, he's hit hard as a flag flies into the pile. Only got a couple of yards, but he made those tacklers pay for it. The 6th career 100-yard rushing game for second-year man Marion Butts. Only the 7th San Diego player ever over 1,000 yards rushing in a season.
Holding, number 88, offense.
The hold by Arthur Cox draws the boos from the fans who remember his antics of a week ago.
That's cold-blooded. Boy, he had a tough game against those Seahawks. The turnovers, losing his temper out there that cost his team 4 points. Messing up today with the holding penalty here, even though his team is well in front. These fans are pretty fickle here at San Diego. They're not happy with Arthur as of late.
2nd and 15 now for the Chargers. Miller's wide to the left. 3 wide receivers in the game, and Tolliver rolls to pass. And he goes deep for Lewis. Almost intercepted by Tony Stargell.
Well, right here, Stargell makes a nice dive at it. Good try. Couldn't quite come down with it, even though I'm sure he feels he should have made that catch.
Late score update. Bob told you about the Raiders-Denver game. Bo Jackson with 2 touchdown runs. Houston and Seattle still locked up at the Kingdome. Oh, Phoenix has come from behind to take a lead over the Indianapolis Colts. And Dallas with an Aikman touchdown pass, up 14-13 on New Orleans.
Just can't figure these teams out. You know, one week to the next, there are always upsets happening.
Ronnie Harmon in on 3rd down. Gets the handoff and is to the 30 and then driven back, bringing up a 4th down punting situation for San Diego. Scott Mercereau in on the tackle for New York.
Well, the holding penalty by Arthur Cox is what leads to this forced punt. Gives the Jets a chance to get the ball back and maybe get back into this game and cut into the 2-touchdown deficit.
They need to do it in a hurry with under 6.5 minutes remaining. A good return by Townsell would help. End-over-end kick by taken by Townsell at the 35, and then tripped up just shy of the 40. 6-yard return after the punt covered only 35 yards. Jets have the ball when we return. 40,000 and change at Jack Murphy Stadium today, and a little celebration is in order because the home team is up 31-17 with only 6:02 remaining as the Chargers bid to keep their admittedly faint playoff hopes alive. Dan Henning said yesterday, "We aren't in the playoff picture, but we're lurking right on the fringe." New York with a 1st down. The ball at the 40-yard line of the Jets. Moore lost his footing, stumbled forward for an 8-yard gain. And the Jets ready to go with a quick huddle, or no huddle, and right up to the line of scrimmage. O'Brien in the shotgun. Time remaining. Now under 6 minutes. Jets down by 14. Lofted for Moore. Can't chase it down. Back to NFL Live now. Check in once again with Bob Costas.
All right, Tom, only moments ago, Phoenix trailed 17-6 at home against Indianapolis. Now they've got the lead. Jeff George's pass intercepted by Cedric Mack. He begins his return, then just before they're about to bring him down, he pitches it to Marcus Turner, who completes the touchdown, diving across the flag before Jeff George can push him out of bounds, and suddenly Phoenix has the lead, 20-17.
Cardinals with a good young team trying to cool off the hot Colts and have come from behind to take the lead. Jets trying to convert another 3rd down here, and the play will be whistled dead.
Ball start. Right guard. Offense.
The right guard is the road grader, Dwayne White, 6'2", 312 pounds.
That's going to make it a little tougher. You know, you had 3rd down and 1.5, and now it's going to be 3rd and 6.5. But I don't doubt that the Jets will use 2 downs anyway, Tom. If they don't make it on this 3rd down, I would think they have to go for it on 4th down anyway, being down by 14 points and only 5 minutes left in the game.
Nine defense for San Diego. It's 3rd and 7, and O'Brien looks for Toon just beyond the 1st down marker, and the pass carries him out of bounds and incomplete. Sam Seal trying to cover Toon has had a long afternoon, but O'Brien's pass off target.
I'll tell you, O'Brien's pass was, I thought, right there. It may be just a little bit out in front of Toon, but watch this. Toon gets his hands out there. Now, this is the kind of catch, Toon's going to make that more times than not. He gets 2 hands on the ball. I'm sure Costa and Al Toon both figures he's supposed to come up with that kind of a pass.
The offense has been slumping lately. They're facing a 4th and 7 now, and as Joe predicted, will go for it. 5.5 minutes left. O'Brien's pass completes it to the first down. That's the same play, isn't it?
Was that a replay? No, he caught it this time. That was the same play. Good catch by Toot, and an excellent pass once again from Kenny O'Brien. There's Al Toot. Boy, he is an excellent receiver. I mean, the superlatives they just keep flowing. Look at this now. Here, watch how smoothly he reverse pivots and gets back outside there, and the ball is right there on time.
Toon was one of the captains that Bruce Coslet named yesterday to select a team for that touch football game they had after practice, which ended in a 0-0 tie, which says something about the New York offense. With a great catch over the shoulder at the 11-yard line.
Not about 8 yards. Not about that kind of offense, I know. That was an excellent pass, and Rob Moore just makes a beautiful fading away catch over the head. Tough ball to find, you know. You're looking up. Watch where this ball comes down, kind of over the outside shoulder, and Moore's kind of got to get his head up there and follow that ball all the way into his arm. Beautiful catch, beautiful pass.
5 minutes left in the game. 31-17 San Diego. Great catch by the rookie Moore gives the Jets a first down at the 10-yard line of San Diego. They can make a first down inside of the 1. Braylon McNeil to the 7-yard line. You question the running play in this situation?
Well, I think everyone did expect pass that time, myself included, so it was a surprise call. The result for the Jets wasn't a good one. San Diego certainly expected it.
O'Brien will pass this time. Looks one way, looks the other, back again to the middle, and the pass. Intercepted off the tip ball by Martin Bayless. Donald Frank tipped the ball in the air, and Bayless, lying flat on his back, cradled it for the interception. Well, just when it appeared that the Jets had a pulse, the respirator is unplugged, and the Chargers take over at their 20.
Well, good defense. They're sticking to these receivers right here. Brian throws the ball inside nicely, but Frank, once again, number 27, comes into play and tips the ball. I couldn't tell if he really caught that ball. I guess he did. Kenny O'Brien thinks so, too, because it just got away from him. He had Rob Moore open to the inside and threw it behind him a little bit.
Play is not being reviewed, and now we'll see the Marion Butts show. It's been a long playing act this season for all the NFL teams. The Jets kept him in relative check early, but he's gone over 100 yards on the day.
Let's take another look at this. You see, if Ken O'Brien has this ball out in front another yard, then Moore doesn't have to slow down foot. Frank doesn't get it. There you see 44 Bayless clearly come in and make the catch.
Frank deflected it. Bayless intercepted it. We'll take a timeout. Two of the youngest teams in the NFL on display here at Jack Murphy Stadium this afternoon. San Diego holding that 31-17 edge. These two teams with a lot of new faces on the field in the 1990 season. The Chargers still alive with a chance for the playoffs. Marion Butts lowers his head, pounds for another couple of yards as the clock continues to tick toward 4 minutes. Bobby Beathard, having taken over the reins of the San Diego Chargers as their general manager. From 1983 to 89, there are 24 players on the current roster acquired during that time period. Almost that many have been brought in this year. 23 new faces on this Charger team. A complete revamping by Bobby Beathard, similar to the job done by Dick Steinberg at the New York Jets. And as Henning confers with Tolliver after the Jet timeout, their second, we'll check the other scores. Raiders clinging to a 3-point lead at Mile High Stadium as the Broncos hope to get that disc jockey off the billboard. He's been up there since early November. Houston and Seattle locked up in a 10-10 tie at the Kingdome. Indianapolis trailing Phoenix by 3 after that interception in lateral. And a final score, Dallas whips New Orleans 17-13. Ken Willis with a 47-yard field goal to seal the verdict after Troy Aikman had a touchdown pass and Emmitt Smith a touchdown run for the Cowboys. There's Bobby Beathard. He's looking at you, I think, Joe.
Thought he was looking to the future.
Want to know if you had any eligibility left.
Well, I think he's pretty pleased with Billy Joe Tolliver's progress so far. I can't believe they're throwing the ball, though.
The McGinn is wide open, and it's good for a first down. Clinton couldn't believe it either, but he recovered in time to make the tackle as we go under 4 minutes.
I guess that's why they threw. Coach Henning knew everyone expected them to run the ball, the Jets defense included.
And the Jets spend their final timeout, stopping the clock at 3:51. Beathard and company in control. New York Jets had used their last timeout. Here are the standings in the AFC West. Kansas City a winner already today. The Raiders in a tough fight in Denver. San Diego trying to hang in there with the lead currently. It could be their 6th win if it holds up. Marion Butts to another carry. Oh, he breaks free. Butts is in a foot race to the 50. Dragged down from behind at the 14-yard line by Eric McMillan. Marion Butts went 52 yards. What a delightful young man is Marion Butts. Watch this run.
He gets a nice hole, and then look at the speed the big man has. Now, McMillan does track him down eventually, but I think this is just marvelous speed for a huge running back that's carried the ball how many times already? 25, 26 times. I mean, my goodness.
25 times, 156 yards, exceeding his total in the first game. And the Chargers perhaps celebrating that long run where had a little mix-up and have to spend a timeout. Well, Marion Butts is a very soft-spoken young man out of Florida State, and he's been the Cinderella story of the NFL season. Hope you'll join us next week here on NBC for our football lineup. It starts at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. And there's the lineup of games you'll see, including that big AFC West clash between Denver and Kansas City. The Chiefs with at least a share of the lead going into that game against the Broncos next week. Well, Billy Joe Tolliver, the man that's been steadily progressing in his quarterback proficiency through the season, is a typical Texan. In fact, he grew up in the tiny town of Boyd, Texas, a farming community. He was on a football team that won the state championship in Texas in 1983. Only 22 players on the team. He was the quarterback. He played defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, and safety. He's got a 2-year-old son, David, and he says he wants to raise him to be a Texan. Tolliver will hand off to Marion Butts, who deserves his 3rd touchdown. He gets it to the 10-yard line before he's hit hard by Joe Mott.
You know, Tom, I kind of think Marion Butts deserves a rest at this stage. You know, I mean, they've got this game, I think, pretty well wrapped up. But I'm sure Butts would like to keep working out there, not only to keep gaining yards, but be a part of the feeling this offense must have right there on the field now. They're going for another win in the huddle right now for an offensive team that has the game wrapped up. There's a lot of good times, good conversation. You feel awful good.
No one expected Butts would ever be the leading ground gainer in the NFL, but they should have known about his determination. His leg bone was snapped in two when he was in high school, and he was told he'd never play again. Nate Lewis for the touchdown. Beats Lageman in the Jet defense for his 2nd touchdown, the first 2 scores of his pro career.
Nate Lewis has had a big game today. Not only with his run, but he's caught some big passes. Quite a day for the young rookie.
Hardy for the extra point. And it's good. Well, Dan Henning said that his club had an emotional loss against Seattle in overtime, which really hurt their playoff chances. He said it took them till about Wednesday or Thursday to recover. They were facing a team they had beaten earlier, 39-3. And he said they had to be very focused. He said they had a remote chance of making the playoffs, and they sure couldn't get there unless they could win out. And they have put this one away, now up 38-17.
Well, Nate Lewis is going to get an underneath handoff on this reverse right there. Now he's in a foot race to the corner. Eric McMillan, number 22, comes over and makes the initial contact, but the little receiver takes him to the end zone, and McMillan has a legit beef there because he was claiming Lewis was down before the ball broke the plane of the goal line, and I don't know that it's going to make much difference, but watch his legs, his knees, everything will hit there before the ball crosses the goal line, and I really don't think it is a touchdown. Look at his knees. He's down.
Isn't that a reviewable play?
Not now. It might have been about 5 minutes ago, but that's why this man, Eric McMillan, is very upset.
Yeah, still hot. Well, the Chargers have indeed bounced back. Earlier in the season, they had a poor loss at Pittsburgh, which came to a crisis with this team. People were questioning their dedication and enthusiasm. They bounced back with that 39-3 win at New York. And today, they used the Jets once again to bounce back from an emotional loss. Chargers have just about salted it away. Today is Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the Game, Marion Butts of the Chargers, who rushed for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. McDonald's and NBC will donate $5,000 on behalf of all the players selected in today's games to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities to help give kids a better tomorrow. Just to add spice to the mix, Butts caught a pass for 26 yards. Big afternoon for the NFL's leading rusher, no doubt, will keep the title of NFL's number 1 and well over 1,000 yards rushing with his performance today. In fact, he's over 1,100 yards rushing. Freeman McNeil on the carry for the Jets, who are out of timeouts and will just play out the string now with less than 2 minutes remaining.
I think they will play out the string. I don't think O'Brien's going to go back to pass. Bruce Coslet knows the risk that he'd be taking in this must-pass situation, so I believe they're going to stick the ball right at the Chargers and take this loss back home.
Well, the big controversy was, should Ken O'Brien remain the starting quarterback of the Jets? He will pass here. Off his performance today, is that the right decision?
I'll tell you what, I know one guy that thinks it wasn't the right decision there. That number 86, well sent, tight end. I mean, he got a good lick put on him that time. There's well sent, number 86, Junior Seau, laid him down pretty good. You know, Larry Pasquale, the special teams coach, there he is right here, of the San Diego Chargers, coached with the Jets for 10 years. And I said, Larry, you know, what's it like out here? You lived in Garden City all that time on Long Island. He said, Joe, I drove from my house out by the stadium downtown to San Diego. It took me 15 minutes. I parked my car. It took 25 cents to put it in the meter. He said, that's one thing that's a lot different about here in New York, parking your car downtown.
O'Brien's pass, complete for the first down to Mark Boyer. He's to the 35-yard line of the Chargers and out of bounds by Gil Byrd, a 25-yard gain. So this has to be a pretty bitter loss for Larry Bechtold of the Jets staff, who was a San Diego assistant coach, their offensive line coach. And when Bobby Beathard came in, Bechtold was let go. And we talked to him before the first meeting at the Meadowlands, and he said, you want to defeat your friends and kick the butt of your enemies, I think is what he said. And it's been the reverse. He's been defeated twice by his old team this season.
Yeah, but in defense of Coach Bechtold, not that he needs any, really. He doesn't have the combination of talent up front to work with in the offensive line yet. These young Jet offensive linemen, though, the rookies, White and Duffy and Watson, seem to be improving. And the offensive line down the road could be a lot better with the players they have on the team now. I'd still look for the Jets to get O'Brien help through the draft, to get another big offensive lineman in there.
Inside the final minute as O'Brien hits Boyer again. Up at the Kingdome, Houston and Seattle in overtime now. Here at Jack Murphy Stadium, the Chargers on their way to their 6th win of the season. Both teams have a bye coming up next week. And both teams need it because they're pretty banged up, especially the Jets. Dale Dawkins on that reception, his 2nd of the year, the rookie out of Miami. Inside 30 seconds.
Well, you know, this is important. The Jets have shown they're not going to quit. You know, I was giving up on them myself a little bit early there with this kind of lead, 38-17. The Jets are still going to try and get some more points on the board, and you can't blame them.
In Phoenix, the Cardinals have ended the winning string of the Colts coming from behind for a 3-point victory, and Phoenix has now won 2 in a row. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Coordinating producer of NBC Football, John Faratzis. Today's game produced by Tommy Roy and directed by Brian Sheriff. Associate Director Al Szymanski, Production Assistant Tom Bowman, Production Manager Wally Hill, and thanks to Dennis Mnuchin on statistics today. Freeman McNeil on the carry. Dan Henning sees his team stay alive. They'll be 6-7 with a bye week coming up. O'Brien's pass goes nowhere. And the game comes to an end. The San Diego Chargers saw their lead narrow to 7 in the fourth quarter, but they win it going away 38-17. Final comments coming up in just a moment.